Hello, Ella.
Hi. You're
I
getting very
want.
good at that.
Thank you. I'm getting very good at it. I actually get very good at it, and I feel so like it's the start of my DJ career. Like I said yesterday, was to be able to
Yes.
just do this
Oh
live.
my gosh.
Yeah.
You could
So.
do the RC shuffle all you wanted, you know?
So I'm excited about that. It's good to see you and good to see everyone tonight. This is gonna be fun. Welcome to Drawing Board Live. If you're new here, I'm RC Helix, the creator of Flux Destiny. This is my right hand woman, Ella, our studio manager and creator of the Flux Fantasy RPG game mechanics, and all around amazing person. And
Aw.
my adopted daughter, and we're so excited to be here with you guys today.
Oh, you can't drop that on me. I don't
I
have pride
have
or no
to. I
life.
have to. So, anyways, it's drawing board tonight. But before we do the drawing board, while we wait, give people a couple seconds to come in. So today, I think I was telling Ella I was working on one of the next manga pages, and I think this one hit a record for dialogue bubbles on this. I've never had that many, but I think I did it in a way that's pretty classy. Like, it works. I don't normally do that, but it's kind of a chatty page. And it's one of those things that I like. Like, it's supposed to be a lot of fun for me to like finalize the dialogue. I actually like that part because I can sit back, the drawing is done, and like put the script in. The problem
Yeah.
is that I hand draw all the bubbles. They're not like,
Yeah.
like, they're it's not me using like circle to like every if you look at each one is different. So I hand draw them because that's the style and it goes in. So like it goes into my OCD brain where I have to like get the shapes a certain way and then like center the text on the in the bubbles and everything, and it's kind of crazy, and it stresses me out. And so what's supposed to be a lot of fun becomes very stressful. You have no idea. When we were talking this morning and I was sending you stuff back and forth, I was like this. I was like, I'm locking in. I had music
Oh,
for. I
I
was like, turn off
knew.
the music. I was like this. I was like
You
this.
know, because RC loves to send me. RC has very specific dialogue. You're very cute. You'll be like, "Oh my gosh, like yeah, let's talk about this page." And then suddenly it goes from, "Oh my gosh, like yeah, let's do this too." Okay, so what's next? Okay, so like and you'll start putting periods instead of exclamation points, and then I know he's locked in, because it's all exclamation points, and then suddenly it starts getting to be periods, and I'm like, "Oh, he's in the zone. Nobody talk to him,
Don't talk to
He's ready
me.
to go."
Don't talk to me. Like, and then I start going, what was I thinking? Like, I start going through this whole thing. So, anyway, so thank you for your patience with me this morning. I think we had some good discussion about it and we got things sorted out. Sorted out with it.
It was
Um,
hard. I feel as somebody who is a writer, more than an artist, you know what I mean? Dialogue to me is what the most important part, and so when I look at it, I don't see chatty pages. I see, story, coming to life. And so for me, it's one of the most important pieces. But I know that you feel differently. So it's not as easy as you think to
it's
just throw
not,
words on a
no.
page
Well, and
because you have to do it in a certain way. And the problem is the length. You don't have, it's not like an anime where you can just have endless whatever you want to say, you can say. It's like the page is only so big. You know what I mean? You can't
that's
just
right.
say everything. So it's actually really hard. We've learned that today. So,
Well, and it's also like when I do them in a I'm very much a believer in the importance of restrictions in like limits. And what I mean by that is that when you make a movie, movies are not meant to be 5 hours long. Like, one movie is not supposed to be 5 hours, right? You're
right.
supposed to work within 90 minutes to 2.5 hours max, although it's gotten really long now. Movies gotten insane.
Hmm.
You have to work the editing process of getting stuff into a shape, into a certain container, is really important. That's creative on its own because
Hmm. Hmm.
time is finite, people's attention's finite, everything is finite, so you have to kind of like make it work. So when I do the manga, I have the whole, Ella knows this because she's seen it, is I have it all like the spreadsheet out, right? I know how many pages everything's going to take. And so I have to like plan everything out, and it's like, well, how am I going to get this much idea and like cut it down to like you know, I had a boss. I'm sorry, we'll get started after this story. Let me just say this real quick. I had a boss who one time ago who he would never communicate via email or anything. He didn't believe in any of that. He only believed in working
Mm-hmm.
through text. That was it. He wouldn't read anything. Everything was text. And I had to learn to communicate very complex things, like complex contracts and business deals and all sorts, in literally like a tweet, right? Like to him. And it was quite a challenge. And at first, I was very like frustrated, but I took it as a challenge. I'm like, okay, how can I become like a more effective communicator by doing this? How can I take
Mm-hmm.
something so insanely complex? Because then he also wouldn't read everything, right? So it's
Yep.
like, how do you like? And I would have to place the order. I'd have to have my whole thing thought out because I'd start the conversation with him and I'd have the rest of the conversation already written. So I could paste it based on his responses. That's how crazy that was, you know? But it
Yeah.
taught me to be like, to try to be, um, brief and, what's it called? And edit myself to get, ideas through as quickly as possible. Even though
Yeah, it's
this
not just about
particular thing.
art, you know?
Yeah.
It's about the writing part, you know, and it's about the shape of the bubbles. We had a whole conversation today about the shape of the bubble, you know, and everything. And you think, "Oh, I'll just start a manga." You know, and it's just like you don't even think about the things that go into it. And there's things that I'm learning, you know, like RC will be like, "Oh, well, this is going to take time because I have to think about the shape of a character's bubble or the, you know, the particular symbol on this box or something." And I'll sit there and I'll just be like, "Oh my gosh, like there's just so much to think about, you know." So, it's interesting. I hope that you guys enjoy. We talk about some of this on our Patreon with the behind the scenes that we do. So I hope that those of you who get to see the behind the scenes enjoy them and like looking at the process. I think that it's really interesting to kind of see behind the scenes, especially I know a lot of you guys are artists, so I know you guys appreciate like what goes into it, you know, because you know what it's like. And so sometimes, you know, it might be good information to get, like you know what the shapes of bubbles and you know timing
It's
and
so
stuff.
important
So,
because all those things, I drive Ella crazy because I'm always like, God is in the details. I tell her all the time. Like, it's
mhm.
like, and what I mean by that is when you see a work, any work, whether it's a written work, an artistic work, or whatever, all the little decisions that were made to create the combined work are all deliberate decisions by the author, whether they are conscious or not, right? For me, a lot
Mhm.
of my decisions are very conscious decisions. Like, what's the line weight that I use on the bubbles, right? Like, I agonized over, is it 5 points? Is it 8 points? And the reason why all those collective decisions like work together is that when you're art directing something, whether like I said it's a manga or a movie or whatever, all those little decisions build on each other, and then what ends up happening is you have the whole vibe, the feel, the aesthetic, all it's all from all those tiny decisions. So it, for someone like me who has a very OCD personality, it's that's one of my challenges is because I'm always trying to make the decisions. It's harder for me to make the decisions, but I like to think they're very well thought out because I just obsess. I obsess over. I can never say I didn't put any thought into it. You know. So, anyways, all right. So let's get into some drawing. So you want to tee us up what we're doing today?
Absolutely. Okay, so today we've got a couple things in the queue. We're gonna start with Moose put in some time for that Marco drawing that I really like with all the sketches that he's drawing. And then Boofy put in some time for the Kazuo, who's sleeping in class, one of my personal favorites for sure. And then we've got our OC of the night that we're doing. So that's what we've got so far. That's what is in so far. We'll see if we get some more tonight. But if not, we're just gonna hang out and have some fun. And it'll be good to see some pure Flux Destiny art, I think, tonight. That'll be some fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun yesterday with the other thing that we did the playing cards. I was re-looking at them. I was really proud of how those
Yes.
are turning out. Those are turning out really really awesome. So I'm very proud of those. Um, Okay, so I'm gonna get started. We're doing Marco first. We have 15 minutes, you said?
So we've got Marco's 30 minutes and then Kazuo is 15 minutes. So which one do you want to start with? Either
Let
one is fine by me.
Let's start with Marco first, and then we'll do Cosmo, and then we'll do the OC and go from there. So thank you, Joe and Moose, and thank you, Boofy. And Eric is Eric. Eric is the one who got the
It's
OC.
gonna be Eric's night, so Eric's OC Satoshi. Very cool character. We're gonna do 20 minutes at the end here.
Okay. All right. Let me get the music teed up. I actually was getting into my music last night too much, so I think I messed with I raised the volume, and I don't normally do that. So I was like, made a mental note, like, be sure to not mess that up when it's like, don't blow people's ears out during the live tomorrow. Okay. All right. So I'm going to switch over, and this is your warning about the earphone volume. Okay. So just letting you know in case you have earphones. All right. Here we go. Switching over. We're playing Ella's favorite to start.
I do like this one.
How's the volume?
It's good.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna start cleaning. I think Marco's ready for cleanup on this, so we're gonna start doing that. What do you think, Helen?
I agree.
Okay. So let me just get situated here. I'm gonna take the background off for a minute.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites. I love the sketch stuff that he does. I really love that.
Right.
I think he's ready.
I think so too.
All right, 30 minutes.
All right, let's go. Again, thank you, Moose. We really appreciate it.
How far along is the Sunflower Hugo? I think Sunflower Hugo is also ready for cleanup.
I think so too. In fact, hold on. Could you pause the timer? Let me just see the size of it.
Of course. Yeah.
I think I may actually make this bigger. Hold on. I'm gonna make him and Hugo bigger because
I know that OC spot goes fast. I think Eric got it in record time because I posted the link and then it immediately showed up. So I think he was waiting for it. I think he was watching, waiting for that one to show up. So next time.
I'm gonna move it to its own file now that we're starting to do color on it. So
Yeah, of course.
this.
You prep all you need to.
Almost ready, sorry.
Hipster Omid. I don't think his hair is floofy enough. I don't think it's floofy enough.
I just wanted to make it bigger since it's really tiny.
If you put Marco and Hugo facing each other's legs, well, it's gonna be a poster. They might be side by side though. I think that's the original vision.
Yeah,
is that they're matching posters.
They're gonna be matching. Yeah, I'm gonna do them.
Yeah.
That's why I'm making it bigger because I don't want to accidentally make it too small and later go, oh, I should have made it bigger. All right, let's go. Now I'm ready.
All right. Sideways. Carl, I don't think that I am seeing the vision that you're seeing. Maybe I'm just too tired.
What's he saying?
He's trying to say like if you have them I don't know. At face sideways, like, I don't know how he means, but I guess he means, like, if they were on their sides and they were looking at each other, it would be a cool poster. But I think it'll be a cool poster no matter what.
Oh, if they were looking at each other from, like, their different beds, you mean? Like...
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that...
Don't ask me right now because I struggled just trying to figure out what it was. My brain is not working, so don't ask me.
I love that everyone got super excited about the alternate countdown music.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
That was fun. Yeah, that's Ella. I like our original one a lot, and I just thought I had set up. Ella took all this work to create these countdowns. I was like, let me put this alternate one here. I didn't expect the reaction that we got from it. It's got a definitely different vibe to it. But I think I chose it from your list, so I'm acting like I... Oh, to this one?
30 to this one, and then 30 to... So we just got some more time in. Thank you. Let me make sure I'm not... Okay, so 30 minutes... No, sorry. Don't listen to me. Let me start over. Ella's not here yet. Okay, 30 minutes for Sunflower Hugo, and then 30 minutes to Noodle Hugo. So thank you so much, C, for that.
Oh,
that's amazing.
C, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm excited about that. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that, man. I'm so glad you enjoyed these lives together.
Well, C's like, the volleyball one is almost done. You gotta put in for Hugo somewhere else.
That's right.
Bye, Ray. See you.
Bye, Ray.
Oh, Katie, I'm glad you got your shirt. Don't talk to Ella after she's had her baked potato and Coke and cat on her lap. You're very funny. Oh, Carl, now I see. Like that, their legs are like this. I see.
Wait, their legs are like what?
This is the funniest. Did you Photoshop this together, Carl, and send this to me? Because it's the funniest thing I think I've ever seen.
Let me see.
Oh my gosh.
Oh!
I like
that is very funny.
I like the way that they're posed too, is like they're like so tired. That's very funny. You did that on MS Paint. That's really funny. It was worth it because that has been cracked up.
That's really funny. That makes my... Whenever Ella loses it, you won me. Whenever you get Ella to lose it.
I had no idea. He was trying really hard to explain this to me. I would have never... This image would have never popped up in my mind.
Oh, Carl. What are we gonna do with Carl?
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just imagine, why would they ever put their beds together?
Why would they?
Why would they ever? Oh my gosh.
And is it supposed to be that they're in the same room like that, or is it that they are like astral projecting to each other in in that way? What's the intent?
I'm so sorry. I'm sure that you were trying to say like, oh, this would be cool, you know, like this would be epic, but it's the guy's pose because he's like dead asleep. It just makes it kind of goofy. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to laugh at your idea. I'm laughing at the
What?
image you sent. Oh my gosh. It is a good day to be alive. Let me just... It's very funny. That like rebooted part of my system for
Good.
sure.
We needed an Ella reboot. So
Sorry, I've been a little off recently. I'm not feeling super well. But I am... You guys make me feel better. You make me feel happier. My body will heal through laughter.
Oh, Ella, if you wouldn't mind sending the link to Mino just in case she wants to.
Yep, she's already here.
Oh, hey there. Mino? Glad you're here with us.
Try again.
Moni. Why do I do that? Why do I do that? I don't type it that way.
I don't mean to gentle parent you, but...
I don't type it that way. She knows I don't mean it. She knows I don't mean it. My brain wants to swap the letters around for some reason.
I know. Well, now mine wants to too. It's very funny. The cards were awesome. Oh, thanks, Eric.
Please, I'm so sorry. I swear, I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm not one of those people, I swear, who's like, you know, those people like in the... They always have, you know, in like movies where they'll have like a jerk and they're always like getting someone's name wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, okay, you know, instead of like Chris, they're like, hey, okay, Chuck, it's Chris. All right, Chip. No, that's not.
Yeah.
Not me, I swear.
Is there a time limit on the card coloring option? Like,
Oh,
you mean,
well,
does
it's
it
not
close?
I think he's wondering if it's going to be colored live. It's not going to be colored live. So
No.
it's basically flat colors for it. So.
And if you're asking if you can get it at any time, then the answer is basically until we stop doing the cards. So.
I'm really proud. I'm sorry, I'm going to shut up about this, but I was really proud of those. They were really coming out.
They're really cool.
And
yeah, you can add the coloring request later.
At the end, when I got all fired up over the Earth discussion that woke me up, bro, I've been going to bed so late.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working so late at night on this stuff, and last night I was like, I think I made it to bed at 2:45, and I was trying to get this page, and there's a character. Oh well, you guys already know the character, Scarlet. So Scarlet, who is a new character who was introduced in the chapter 1. She, you know, I was talking to Moni about this, but we were talking about how sometimes there's a challenge in drawing the different genders. Sometimes, you know, because you have to get certain,
Mm-hmm.
and to get her to look right is a real challenge, you know, compared to drawing like, you know, some people are really good at drawing like female characters or male characters, you know, and I've been trying to draw like really, like to really get like my own aesthetic for drawing like female characters, because I draw a lot of male. And to get her right, like to really like get the look right, I had to sit there and like obsess over these details on her, and it was worth it at the end. I was actually really proud of how she turned out, but I had to like, it was grueling. It was absolutely grueling to get like, okay, remember last night when I was doing the cards and we were like finishing in 30 minutes, like a full cleaned up person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's not what was happening last night. It was taking an hour and a half per uh, almost per panel. But I treat the manga. I have to treat a little differently too. I have to be way super detailed with it. But
Right. It's a little different for
it's
sure.
a little different, yeah. So it took me, but I was obsessing over her and getting her like to look the way I wanted her to look, and it's just a different. It's just been my experience that drawing males and females is just a very different experience.
Yeah. I don't have that problem because I draw everybody really beautifully. So, you know.
you are a very good artist. You are up and coming.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Also, because this takes place in the kind of this 90s realm, you know, this early 90s realm, like getting the style of everything to look the way I want it to look is another thing. And
yep, that's an added layer, you know, of what fashion they're wearing and accessories and hairstyles and logos and colors because it's black and white, but you actually have to think about their color
right.
to put it into black and white, you know.
That's right.
It's not just like, oh, everything's black and white, you know.
That's right. So when I was doing
Corn.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just answering their question. They say, "What are you doing right now with the circles?" And I was just gonna say, trying to get Marco's glasses, correct.
Oh yeah, see by doubling them up, you can kind of see that they have dimension. So I kind of you can see how I create it so it looks like they have thickness to them. But it's funny because Moni and I, like I said, were talking about this yesterday, and we were just talking about the difference and the challenges and.
Corn said, "Old mare's trick," and then Moose said, "Old mare's trick," with an exclamation point. And they posted that at almost the exact same moment. That was like timed.
That's so fun. Oh, because I'm doing this copying the lenses. Old mare's trick. Old mare's trick. I'm glad that some of you get that now.
I think you'll have to put it in the manga at this point.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to reference
that and idiot. And there has to be a cafe called Diarrhea Cafe, but like with little accent marks.
I think there is a. I think there is like a limit to what I'm gonna put in there. Diarrhea.
You could change it. It could be like accented or something, you know.
Accented? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like do a plan like what drawing did I did remember a long time ago where I was like, oh, derriere, like I made like an airline.
Yes.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm so funny.
You've got 13 minutes left. Obviously, I know you're not rushing, but I just want you to know.
Yeah, no, thank you. The face is always the longest part to get everything ready. The hardest part.
We'll call it Daya's Cafe. You know?
Diarrhea Cafe. That's funny. That's good. That's good. I like that.
We have fun here.
Very highbrow humor here. Very highbrow.
The DC, I like that.
The DC.
I actually really like that. I think that's really funny. Now, obviously, you shouldn't do it unless you really want to, but that is very funny.
It's so funny because Ella normally would be telling me, don't you dare do that. Oh, right. Okay. So, yeah, before we scare off Moni, I guess we need to tell her the story, right? Cam is telling me I need
Yeah,
to
well, and everybody else who's new as well.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, when I was when I was a kid, where do I even start? Where do I even start with this? When I was a kid, I used to have all these like games I would play. I didn't have a lot of friends at school for a while. We used to play these games, and like I grew up in Southeast Texas, so if you're familiar with the Gulf Coast of Texas, the water is not like there's a band of like, it's like this. Look, if I draw, okay, I'm gonna draw it right here. If you want to pause the timer, just 1 second, Ella.
Right.
If this is the coast, right? This is the coastline, like this, right? And then this is the ocean here, right? This is the Gulf of Mexico here. And then the thing is that there is this band of water here. Oh, let me zoom out. There's a band of water here, right? That is all. This is blue, right? But then there's this brown water. And the reason why it's brown is because the Mississippi River dumps into the Gulf of Mexico, and all the soot, the mud, creates kind of this like brown layer that is here. So it looks like diarrhea. So like it's just mud, but it kind of like, as a kid, you're like, okay, you're being creative, and you know how stupid boys can be. Like I was like, okay, I invented this thing called Diarrhea Cafe, and what it was every time I would pretend that I would play with like my little brother or whatever, and we'd pretend that we were like at some like fine restaurant or something, or like having coffee, and then a giant, like there'd be an eruption. You can start the timer back up. There was an eruption in like the sewer line, and like this wave of diarrhea would come and like blast us out of the restaurant. And so that's what we're referring to. Obviously, it's really stupid and juvenile and whatever. I was 10 years old. I did play it kind of late into my life, but I was 10 years old when I came up with it, so you have to kind of give me some slack.
Very, very funny. So that's what we're referring to.
Yeah, so before she gets like, what is he talking? What? I don't think I can work on this manga anymore. No, my God, no, you misunderstand.
This is not recent. Not a recent
No,
game.
God, no, it's not recent. Although sometimes the Gulf of Mexico calls to me.
You've got to do it once. When you're like 99.
When I'm 99 and about
you hobble down,
okay,
and you go Diarrhea Cafe, and you let it wash over you and wash you out to sea. You can just float,
what a fitting ending to a storied life.
Right, yes. I'll be there calling out to you, but you have a meeting. Come back.
You have a meeting. Ella's setting up fake meetings for me. I'll be an old ass man. Setting up fake meetings to keep my mind going. Yeah. She'll be like, you have a meeting, and it's like nobody. It's like Cam on the other line, like pretending to be somebody.
Like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Sign that $1 million deal. Yeah. Sounds great. It's really Cam.
No.
I love drawing ears. I like drawing.
Well, that's good news for us.
Thanks for your insight, old man.
You're too hard on yourself.
I think Katie said to me one time that I was doing this wrong.
The
earrings. I was doing them from the wrong perspective, and I'm trying to remember if I'm imagining that or... I don't think I am, but...
I remember, I thought that was the upper... That was like the upper ones. Or am I crazy? Clearly, I don't know anything.
The upper... Oh, maybe it was. Maybe it was.
Because you were doing them backwards. They were like sticking the wrong way, I think. But I thought it was just the upper piercings.
I will get you that answer, I promise. I need to give you a thought out answer for that.
About Marco's earrings? Yeah, I know it's sitting there.
I know. So
we're sorry. We're sorry.
Yeah, I promise I'm going to get you an answer for that, but I need to kind of explain it in a way that I can... I promise, just... I know you're probably like, why is it so complicated? I promise, I have to like... it has to kind of make sense with everything that... with how everything works, and so I'm going to give you an answer, I promise. It has actually been on my mind ever since you asked it, and I intend to answer it properly for you. Oh, it's okay. No, don't be sorry. I promise I'm gonna do it though. Like I'm not ignoring it. I just haven't been able to. She can tell you I've literally had no time to like do that stuff. I'm usually pretty good at answering the lore stuff.
Yeah, the end of the month is actually a really... I know it's a difficult time for most people, but it's really difficult for us as well. We've got a lot of meetings and things that we have to do, and we always have the super sketchy, which we put on ourselves. You know, we decide what time to do it, but you know, it's added fun. So.
Oh, this is gonna turn out so fun.
You've got about 5 minutes left.
So I talk about this a lot. Like you may be wondering, well, why do you draw like a straight line all the way through? When I talk to some of my art students about this stuff, it's like the importance of like the follow through of the lines, so that I kind of use the example of if you've ever seen like you're walking down a hallway and you see oops, what happened here? Oh, you see like if you see a picture frame that's like off balance. And it's just, and it could be just a little bit, and you're like, why is it? And because your brain is like mapping everything, you know, your brain is, whether you're conscious of it or not, you're like, your brain is looking for those patterns. And so when you do this, you kind of create your brain, like it's a follow through. I don't know how else to explain it, except that it's like a follow through.
No, that makes sense. You have to trick the the mind into thinking that there's more there, and when you do put more there and then it gets covered up, you know, but it was there originally, you can sense that.
You can sense it, right? Yeah.
In almost every sport, you know, they'll tell you to follow through, you know, like playing basketball or baseball, you know, you have to put in effort beyond just the initial go at it.
That's right.
Same with art, apparently.
How much time
you got an intruder?
Oh, well, I think my dog needs to go outside, and I hear him making noises, and I'm like, I feel like I need to go check on him. Can you pause the timer for a second?
Of course.
I'm sorry. One moment. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You don't have to be sorry. Bentley's important.
Oh, no, he's sleeping. Never mind. I'm
just hearing things.
I'm
even better.
I'm a lunatic. Okay. Like, what is wrong with me?
That's actually worse. So. So, Pinky, they don't have to be spherical. There's lots of different ways that you can make a fishbowl shape. You could have a picture frame. You could.
Yeah, you could. They're featured in the opening of the manga as spheres, just for simplicity. But over time, you'll see that they can take all sorts of shape. In fact, I think in the pardon me.
Bless you.
Thank you. In the core rulebook of Flux Fantasy, you can see all the different ones, like,
and the fishbowl design video that we posted.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Do all these videos.
Yeah, you could have an animated picture in a fishbowl. You could have a lot of things in a fishbowl.
You can do all sorts of stuff. You can really do anything.
Yeah, as long as it's,
I think the question
to scale.
To scale. That's right. That's a question we get all the time. Can you put like an elephant? Well, you could make an elephant the size of the fishbowl. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Unlike
exactly.
Flux canvases, Flux Destiny canvases doesn't have dimension.
Oh my gosh, Candy, did you see the frog that RC drew on the last sketchy? I'm sending out the sketchies this week, but if you haven't seen like him drawing it live, you gotta go back. It was
the one I did for her?
end of one of them. Yeah.
Okay. How much time do I
have? 30 seconds.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. I can get a couple strands of hair in. I loved drawing hair. I think most of my time outside of drawing the face on any piece, whether it's manga or whatever, is the hair. Like Moni and I were talking today. I don't know if you're ready to announce the little thing that's going to happen on the other little project.
Oh, I think that if you want to, I wouldn't say no.
Okay, so I'm cool with it. So I'll give some bonus time while I tell this story. So we have revived. Revived is not the right word. We revived a title, but we're gonna so Moni is gonna start doing these little mini comics. These like little 4-panel Flux Destiny mini comics, and she just drew her first one, which is super cute. And we're gonna put them under if you guys remember the old Sprockets and those little mini comics that we used to do a long time ago. So we're gonna start releasing those soon on Patreon, and they're so good. So Ella's been writing them, and Moni's been drawing them. And the reason, what reminded me of it, we were talking about Hugo's hair and how difficult it is to draw.
Mm.
And I was even saying, even for me, it's very hard. His hair is very hard to draw. That's what kind of prompted that. And
Yeah.
so we're really excited. Her style is really awesome. And I think you guys are going to really like these. I think it's going to go to Patreon pretty soon, right? So.
Yeah, I think the first one will probably post next week. So those will be, we're hoping to get them out weekly. We'll see. Obviously, you know, the main manga comes first, so we'll just see what we can do, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And, you know, we're really expanding our team, and we feel really lucky to have somebody as talented and enthusiastic as Moni, you know, with us, because she's awesome. Like, she just, everything we do, she's like, okay, I can do that, I can do that, I can help with that, and we're like, okay, 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 and now we get all these cool ideas and stuff. So
yeah, it's really awesome.
so they're not going to be exactly in chibi style anymore. They're going to be a little bit more manga style, but they're still going to be cute. So they're going to kind of bridge that cute chibi style and the manga style. But they're super cute still. I promise. You guys are really going to like them.
I mean, they're really, really cute. And so, she drew his hair so well. The secret is in the wave, I told her. There's a wave that's in his hair, and you gotta get that wave.
Yeah.
Right. She hit it, like, right there.
Come on,
I was lamenting. I was like, sometimes I look at, like, Shoyo from IQ, and I'm like,
come here.
That hair is so easy to draw. I was like, I wish.
Yeah, it just had spiked.
It's just like it's actually there's a design to it. Like, I can see it and I could break it down into shapes, and it's so easy to draw compared to Hugo's hair, but that's Hugo's trademark. So. All right, Moose, thank you so much. I'm taking great care to do this really cleanly, really nice, and this is looking so nice. I'm really proud of this. A really nice drawing. So, oh my God. Swaddled kitty. Oh my God. Please, Cam, I need a fresh screenshot to add to my collection. I'm gonna create a stamp collection of Ella swaddling Oscar, like, you know, 50 cent. Oh
my gosh, that's funny.
Stamps. I don't know what stamps go for nowadays. Okay, thank you, Moose, so much. I cannot wait to finish this one. This is one of those that every time we come back to, it's like, oh, a little gift to be able to come back to these. So.
Yeah, and you'll just get further and further along, because, you know, the face is the hardest part.
The face is the hardest. Once I get past the face and hair, it goes very fast. It's just getting the face right. Another thing that's complicated about this is the when you have a straight-on face, it's very difficult, because everything has to be like you have to balance it without it being like a Gemini effect, where it's like you can't just copy all of it and flip it. Because then you have the Gemini effect. You'll notice there's certain things I can copy, like ears, but you know, but I won't. I'll kind of flip something over, but then make changes to it so it doesn't look mirrored. You know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. What's next?
Okay, so next we're gonna do Kazuo sleeping in class.
Okay.
That's gonna be a 15-minute one, and that's from Boofy.
All right. Is Boofy here with us?
I don't know. I hope so. I haven't seen him in the chat.
This was a fun one too. So if you guys were, if you guys hadn't seen this is the whole drawing. So you can here's the draft of it. And I was having a lot of fun with this one. So we're in the cleanup stage now. Okay. All right. How much time?
15 minutes.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Boofy's at work. Well, Boofy, this is for you. We'll put extra care. I'm glad we get to finish this one. I'd hate to see it half done.
Yeah, I think I can get... You said I have 15 minutes?
15, yeah.
Okay, I am ready. I think I can... I was treating this one with care too, so we got past the head. Now we're doing the body. So. All right, I am ready when you are.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. You want to go, buddy? Okay. Thank you for coming and giving me some hugs. I really needed them.
I love Ella's cat talk. It's so reassuring and pleasant.
He deserves it.
Like when the zombie apocalypse comes, I've always said that I need to be dead, like in the first episode, because I don't want to be through that, and I don't want to like not have showers and coffee, and like I can't, right? So like you're not gonna find me living on like some makeshift like communal thing where we're all like pitching in. No, just kill me, right? So, but at least on the first day, I would love to have Ella's like reassuring voice talking like that.
As you're turning into a zombie, I will reassure you as I turn you away to look at the sunset, you know?
That's funny. So, Pinky, my canvas size really depends on what I'm doing. I like to draw on really big canvases. This one, I think, is 11 by 17. And the reason why I draw big is we always kind of think of things through like a marketing perspective, because we want to reuse images sometimes, like if we want to use an image on a poster or on a t-shirt or whatever. So I don't want to waste drawing time by doing things small that I can't reuse later, right? And so I draw them relatively big, not huge. I mean, it's not gigantic, like, you know, but big enough that I know that, hey, if I was to put this on a t-shirt, you know. I also do it at like 600 DPI, which I was talking to some of my students about the DPIs the other day, and it's like, you want to make sure you're not drawing. If you're gonna draw, you should consider drawing at a higher resolution. Because later, if you want to print, you can always go down, right? Like if you can. I can take these images and I can size them down to like web ready, but to size them up into like to take an image that was created in low resolution and sizing it up, it's a disaster when you do that, right? Like your stuff will be all pixelated and gross. And I actually find it, let me tell you something. I'm gonna be like, this is how I feel about like low res images like that. Whenever I finally learned about that when I was younger and first starting all this stuff, I started having the feeling of what it was like. You know, what was the feeling I told you the other day? I said it's like walking into a gas station bathroom.
Yes.
That's the feeling I get when I see something has been created in web ratio and not like print ratio as a master file. That will like I will go into cardiac arrest over that.
So fun fact, if you want to know RC's scale of things that he like compares other things to, gas station bathroom is the worst. He always uses that as his like lowest example, you know? That basically means like he's about to puke. Like it's that bad, you know? And then the high end is like he talks about like hotel lobbies, you know, like clean, you know, like high-end Michelin star like restaurants, you know. So there's your scale.
Because I can't with bath. I don't care how clean a bathroom looks, like I just find them gross, you know, like and when I go into like a gas station, I used to go out of my way. I thought this was kind of a life hack. So when I go, it's kind of a life hack, but it's kind of toolish, but it's like, believe me, there's a reason for it. So when I go down to visit my family in Houston, I used to try my best to drive, like driving from Dallas to Houston is like, it's like 5 hours. It's a long drive. And sometimes I would go out of my way to hold until I got to Houston, because then you'd start getting to the nice hotels and stuff that would be on the highway. And instead of going to the bathroom at like some like gas station on the highway, I would see like a Hilton or something, and I would go use the bathroom in their lobby, and it's a really nice, and it's got marble, and it's like not as gross as going into. I would
Yeah,
pretend
I
I'd
think
walk
that's
in as
just
if I was a
smart. Yeah.
guest, you know.
Amazing.
It's just gross, you know. Gas station bathrooms are like, they're horrifying to me. They're absolutely horrifying. I walk in there, I'm like, I'm gonna pretend. When I joke about astral projecting, I astral project when I go to a gas station bathroom. Like,
This
don't
is
talk
from
to me.
the. You're a different person than Diarrhea Cafe.
Diarrhea Cafe is, I know that that's like ocean water and it's just a joke, right? Like, that's
Right.
not like,
Very true.
that's just a joke, right? And it's funny. Although now our oceans are all polluted and whatever, but I won't get into that. Because I used to, another thing about the Gulf of Mexico is that sometimes tar will wash up, and tar is like oil.
I've heard that.
And as a kid, I didn't, know much about it, right? I didn't put much thought into it, but sometimes you'd step in it, and it's like oil, it's like petroleum, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, then I started realizing as I got older, I was like, okay, great. I'm like in all this like carcinogenic material. I've been like all over my body, and
You're gonna be like Nuclear Man. Yeah.
I think it gave me like, I don't know. I think maybe it gave me some sort of superpower, like my
you're Spider-Man.
ability to spot missing apostrophes.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? It gives you super strength, and you start, rearranging furniture. That's why I have to be really careful. I'm his arch nemesis.
So, Carl's asking, what's the secret to surviving a 5-hour drive? I don't know. I literally astral project. I have to. Actually, what I do is, Ella tries to avoid this because she knows I'll be like, oh, why don't we talk? And she's like, I don't want to talk to him for 5 hours. So I'll be like, hey, why don't we have this meeting? She's like, no, there's no need for a meeting. There's no need for a meeting. I'm like, but
I'll do it. I know. So the first time, it was a couple of months into me working for RC, and he called me and he said, hey, I'm driving, I've got this long trip. Let's do this quick meeting real quick. You can explain the schedule to me. And I was like, sure. We talked, I think, all 5 hours. I was on the phone with RC for all 5 hours. And it was he likes to talk, and it was fine. It was fine. But then the next time he called me and he was like, hey, I'm on my way to Houston. And I said, okay, just so you know, I've got work to do. I was like, this is going to be a 2-hour meeting tops.
Okay, to be fair, we talked about a lot of important stuff.
We did. We
talked about a lot of important stuff. It wasn't just me like talking about life. We were talking about important stuff. So
very true.
So anyway, I know how she's very intelligent, and she quickly picked up on the pattern, and she's like, yeah, no, I don't think we need to meet. Everything is handled. Everything is good. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll just have a car accident.
I would if we weren't so busy. I really would. Because I don't mind talking. RC's really fun to talk about.
Well, here's the thing. When that kind of drive, because Texas is huge. I mean, Texas is the size of like Spain or France. It's alone. It's a size of a country. I have trouble driving because the road hypnotizes me. I'm not somebody who can like drive. Like my dad can literally drive from Texas to Florida, which is like a 15-hour drive, nonstop, literally nonstop. Maybe just use the bathroom, But me, I start falling asleep. I can't and I start falling asleep within 45 minutes. And
I've done.
What's that?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish.
So I just, but if someone is talking to me, so oftentimes I'll try to call my friends who I haven't talked to in a long time, who I know like are chatty like me. Mm-hmm. Because I don't normally like the phone to start with, but whenever I'm on the road, that's a good time because I'm like kind of like trapped, right?
Yep.
So might as well talk with my friends because I'm pretty antisocial otherwise.
I think the longest I've ever driven straight has been 10 hours. 10 hours, and I was moving, and that was really rough because I had all the cats in the car, and the poor cats, they're just...
no.
Luckily, this last time, they had each other, and so they were kind of clinging to each other, and they were very quiet, and that was great. And I always listened to audiobooks,
I imagine your cats like it being very dramatic for them, kind of like in. Did you ever see American Tail with Fievel, the
Uh,
American Tail, the with the animated cartoon with the mouse? It's very
oh,
famous.
yes,
Yeah,
forever ago, ever and ever ago, yes.
and like when they're coming to America from Russia, it's like super dramatic, and I imagine that's
Yes.
your cats. Like they're
Yes.
like huddled together in the bar, you know, in the
Yes.
in the brig of the
Yeah.
ship or whatever it's called, and
Yeah. So Oscar actually loves car rides. But
oh, he
this
does.
last time, he does. If I let him out of the cage, he will sit. Now this is dangerous. You should never do this. I'm not condoning this. He'll sit in my lap while I'm driving, and he'll just curl up into a tight little ball and he'll just sleep the whole 9
What?
hours. Yep.
What?
He's actually incredibly good. He like for some reason he's just like, "Okay, I know something's happening. If you hold me, I know I'll be okay." And that's fine. But
Oh,
this last time he did me a solid and he was in the cage with the other cats. And so he was their protector and he was holding them and stuff, and they were very good. So
Joe, that quote is one of the quotes I'm so. It's so funny you mentioned that. The secret weapon. That's this, that quote from the movie is one that sticks with me. Okay, we got his torso pretty much done. Let me get the desk real quick.
you've got 3 minutes.
Okay, I
A little
think
less than 3.
I can maybe get the desk done.
Navi, come here, baby. I hear you screaming. She's like, no, I'm not screaming. Yeah, Oscar maxes out the snuggle quota. There was one time I actually got a flat tire when I was driving back and forth with him. This was like earlier, like I was not moving, but I used to have to drive back and forth with him when I was in college, and I got a flat and I had to step out of the car, and he poked his head out of the driver's side window and was just staring at me like, can we go? Like, hurry
He
up,
won't try to run away.
No, I think he understood the situation. I don't let him out now though because he's like, I think he craves exploring a little too much, and
Um,
he's such a homebody. He's very precious.
it's larger than France. Okay, that's. I knew it was something like that. It was something like the size of France or something. So it's a pretty big state. And getting anywhere here is insane. It's just like
It's crazy because Oklahoma, it's Oklahoma's wide. It's not tall like Texas is, but Oklahoma, where I grew up, is about as wide as the top part of Texas. And when you drive through Oklahoma, it's just, I'm sure it's not as exciting because there's just nothing.
I have a
It's just
story about that. Remind me, I have a story about that.
you drove through Oklahoma?
I have a story about that.
Okay,
Yes.
tell me, I'm ready.
Okay. Well, no, you finish your part.
Well, I just was saying, like, so Oklahoma's funny because Oklahoma, there's only two big cities. There's Tulsa and there's Oklahoma City. And um I know. And oh, that's the timer. I guess
Oh,
I
you're
guess I'll
there.
have to stop.
Okay. Well,
I'll have to say it later.
you finish your part. I'll put a little bit bonus here while you finish your part. Let me
Okay.
just get this.
So in Oklahoma, there's two big cities, Tulsa and Oklahoma City, and every other city is a small city, like literally small town, like there's 1,000 people in it. So you'll drive. So I went to college in a small town, and so you'll drive through literally. They call them one-horse towns, for a reason, because there's one stoplight in the whole town, and there's
Yeah.
like 10 buildings, and so you'll just drive, and there's nothing, and they're literally like these small little towns, you know, and stuff, and you'll drive and drive and drive just straight. Like there's no curves, it's just a straight highway through the top to bottom and then left to right, you know, east to west, and that's it. And there are two highways, you know, going either way. And yeah, so Oklahoma driving is not very fun. You have to bring a book or something, because it's not like, oh, fun road trip where you're seeing all these sights and stuff. It's like you're driving 10 hours across a state of grass, you know, pretty much.
That, and you know, parts of Texas are like that too, just a bunch of nothing. Most of the population of Texas is concentrated in what they call the Texas Triangle, which okay, hold on, little geography lesson, since Ella says that she doesn't like geography, but I'm gonna now that we're done, let me just show you.
Well,
really
I know the South geography. That's about it. I know the Texas Triangle, but
okay, I'm gonna show you how proud I am of my ability to draw Texas. So here's Texas. Oops. I'm very proud of my ability to draw Texas. It's a little bit like this. Okay, so it's kind of like this. All right. This is Texas. The proportions are way off here. This panhandle is wrong. Not panhandle, this like wing or whatever you call it. Wrong. Hold on.
So in Oklahoma, it's called the panhandle because it's literally the shape of a pan.
Right.
And what they did is they took, so the reason Oklahoma has that panhandle is because of bad history in America, and so Texas gave over that little bit of
a large part of Oklahoma. Isn't a large part of Oklahoma like Native American reservation? Like it's a huge swath of Oklahoma. Is that? So, okay, so
mostly
you got
to the west.
To the west, okay.
Yeah.
So you've got Texas here, right? That looks like this, and then you've got. So this is for Carl and anyone who's to give you a little my American pride and my Texan pride, and I'm going to show you Texas geography real quick. Okay, so I live up here in Dallas. So Dallas is here, and it so happens that Oklahoma is here. We're talking about Oklahoma. This is Oklahoma right here. I misspelled Dallas as Dallas. I don't know why I did that. Dallas. Okay. And then Austin is here. This is our state capital. This is Austin. And then there's San Antonio, which is like approximately here. And then you've got Houston, which is kind of my adopted hometown here, because I was born to the east of Houston, but Houston is, I consider Houston my hometown. So there's Houston. And so there's this part of Texas. Texas has like 50-something million people, and this area is called the Texas Triangle right here. And like 90% of the population lives here in this region. But this region is giant. Yeah. Right? They call it like the Texas megalopolis or something. It's a giant, giant region right here. So there's a huge population, you know, to give you a sense of scale, I think the population of California is like 60 million or so. So it's second to California. It's the second in terms of population in the country is Texas. And so I went to school in Austin. That's where I went to college. So. And I was born over here in Beaumont, which is right here next to the border of Louisiana, and that's where all the crawfish talked earlier.
Yep.
And here's Oklahoma. Okay, I'm done. Done with the history. Sorry, I get super geeky about that, and I like to talk about that. Okay. All right, so I got pretty far on Kazuo. I even got the desk. We're almost done with him. So I'm excited. So this is going to be really good when this is done. I just have to do his legs and the desk. And this is going to be a really fun, cute one, because I can't wait to do his, I need to draw his other foot. But I really like the how we showed the PJs and the top of the outfit. So this is going to be fun. All right.
I think this one will look good when we maybe get some flat color on it, too.
Yeah, it's going to look
Make
really
it a little fun.
Absolutely.
A fun poster, I think. Cool. Okay, so which one do you...
Oh, Carl was actually invested. I will give you some more geography in the breaks, Carl, because I love it. I love it. All right, what's next?
So uh which one do you want to do next? We've got 30 minutes for Sunflower Hugo and then 30 minutes for Noodle Boy Hugo. I'm excited to do Noodle Boy Hugo. I was actually kind of hoping that we were going to do that one tonight. So
Cute.
I'm
Okay.
excited about
You
that
tell me.
one.
Do you want me to? It. You pick. You tell me which one you want me to do first. I'll let you pick.
Um why don't you go ahead and go back to Sunflower Hugo and then we can do Noodle Boy and then we'll do the OC and then that'll be it for today.
Okay. So let me save this, and then let's move over to where is Sunflower Hugo? Ah, here he is. Okay. All right. So let's get him started. Let me duplicate. How much? I have 30 minutes.
30 minutes here, 30 minutes on the other Hugo, and then 20 for the OC.
And who's our sponsor for this one today?
Eric?
Eric, thank you so much. And did Eric also do the noodle one too? Or was that someone
No,
else?
C gave 60 minutes split into two parts.
Right. Oh, you guys.
But
You guys are
originally,
spoiling
yes,
me.
Eric put in for Noodle Boy, so
Yeah.
C is adding time to that.
Okay, give me a second. Let me get the canvas set up. And then I need to make sure that this matches Marco real quick. I need to do a old mayor's trick. Make sure that this is the right size. Because we need the posters to match.
There is one person in the fandom which I won't name because I don't want to tell anybody where where people live, but there's one person in the fandom who lives in Oklahoma where I lived, very very close to where I grew up. And I think about this person a lot when I think about Oklahoma and stuff. And I am always like, they know. They get it. They know what I'm talking about because it's very specific. It's like, it really is. We call them states, but they really are like little countries. You know what I mean? The culture here is very different because they are like little worlds. Each state is so different. Like, I've lived in 3 separate states and they're all so different from each other. They're so completely different because I grew up in Oklahoma, and in Oklahoma we have all of this Native American culture, and our
Mhm.
lives like kind of revolve around that. And then I moved to Tennessee and it was all Civil War culture and Appalachian culture, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like,
It
it
is
was like
so
learning a
true.
new language.
Even within countries that are even within state, like going back, Texas is an example, obviously, that I use a lot because I live here, but also because it's so big that even regions of Texas are different from each other. Like up here in Dallas, where I live, is very different than living in Austin region or living in Houston or San Antonio. They all feel like they could all be their own like smaller like European countries. Like if you broke it all up, so that's how it feels. I mean, I think Houston alone, the Houston area, the Houston metropolis area is bigger than Rhode Island. That's how big it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty crazy. Okay, I think I'm ready when you are. C, thank you so much again. You are just awesome, man. We really appreciate it, and thanks for treating me to this. This is also another one that I'm super excited to do. This is a piece that I've been wanting to do forever, and you and Katie and some other people have been giving to this piece, and it's helped me a lot to do this. So I'm excited. All right,
Awesome.
let's
Okay,
get going.
here we go. So Carl said, and we kind of answered him already, but Carl said, is there more than just the Southern accent in the US? And the answer is yes. There's even in states, there are accents. So like how in England there's the Cockney accent, and then there's like the Northern accent, and then there's the like proper accent. So it's like that. Even in states like Texas, like you'll have the Southern Texan, and the Northern Texan, and then the Cowboy Texan, and then moving on from there, you've got like the deep Southern belle, and then the Minnesotan accent, and then the, you know, Californian and Boston and New York, and then New England. Don't even get me started on New England. New England, each city has its own accent, you know, so there are many, many accents. There are different, like when I say that like states really are like their own countries, like there are fierce battles over how to say soda. Like some people say pop and some people say soda, you know, and some people say Coke, you know, and stuff like that. Like it's like a battle, a battleground. You know what I mean? So it's very it, it's very country like, you know, and when you move, the weird thing is like when you move around, it's like you kind of have to learn, you know what I mean? You have to kind of learn a new language a little bit.
Well, the thing about the United States is that it is a very complex country for a number of reasons, but it's a very different country because one thing you can't, like, for example, you can't, if I move to Japan, I can't really become Japanese, right? I can't do
Right.
that. I can't go to Japan and become Japanese, but a Japanese person could come to the United States and become an American, right? Or you
Right.
can come from anywhere in the world and become American. And that's one of the cool things about America is that, put everything like aside because America has its own issues and we're dealing with issues and whatever. Like, I don't want to get into that stuff
America
right now.
is, yeah.
But every country has its pros and cons, right? Like, and so
Mm.
I don't want to get into all that gross stuff right now that's going on. But I can tell you that as an American, and the good things about America, it's just like people. People have good and bad things about them. Positive and negative things about them. The U.S. Uh, some amazing things have originated from here, and the culture of the U.S. Like this idea that you could build a country from people from all over the world, right? Who could come in and live next to each other, right? And you be American. Like my parents, for example. My parents came. My dad is Lebanese and my mom is Cuban.
Mhm.
And my mom, I've mentioned before, my mom escaped. My mom lived in Cuba during the Cuban Missile Crisis, and she used to, like, when Castro took over Cuba, he nationalized everything, right? Like he took over everyone's businesses. Like my grandfather had a business and the government took it over. And
Mm.
you basically, it's just a total communist country at that point. And my mom used to have to go and as a teenager, she used to have to go and work the sugarcane fields as a kid, like government mandated. Like they would pick you up in trucks and drive you to the sugarcane fields, and you had to work on them, right? Because that's how Cuba made money. Anyway, and they used to like have to sing like the Soviet anthem and things like that. It was really crazy because the ties
Whoa,
between
yeah.
the ties between the Soviet Union and Cuba were very tight at the time. But anyways, she was able to escape Cuba because you don't leave those countries, right? You've seen people who leave boats. There's reasons why people are leaving why people will like risk their lives to come to the United States, right? There was at least at a time a promise of opportunity and a better life to do that. And my parents were that. There's actually this cute picture of me when my parents became citizens. And there's a picture of me as like a 4-year-old, and there's like it was in the newspaper because my parents were nationalized and they became citizens and naturalized, and there's a really great picture of me and them together holding the American flag, and it's kind of like a different era, right? It's like a different era
Yeah.
of how the US used to feel. And it's just, I don't know,
No,
I'm
it's
still.
interesting. It's part of the geography and culture of where we live. We get to. I don't mean to interrupt you, RC, but when we talk about people, like we get to meet all of you. You know what I mean? And we're fascinated by your world and your culture, and where you live, and we learn so much and we actually apply it to, things like Flux Destiny and all this stuff. So, we like talking about it because that's sort of what Flux Destiny is it's a time that we cherish, very fondly. But it's also a time filled with a lot of moving towards things that we don't necessarily like. You know what I mean? Not that Flux Destiny is full of political stuff or anything, but
Yeah, but it's definitely inspired by real things. And, even when I was like when I was coming up with a name for the German country, I remember reaching out to Fabian and be like, what do you think of this? I was like, give me your,
Mhm.
and he would give me thoughts. And I loved when I started learning about Estonia from Carl, learning more about Estonia and thinking about that region and seeing pictures that he would send. I love that kind of stuff. I love
Yeah.
getting super, I don't know if it's like the world builder in me, just loves that. And so I love learning about, I- it's like me and my obsession with World War II. Like I love studying about, I think there's so much, it's so dramatic, the storytelling, like, okay, what happened in World War II and how did Germany recover after World War II and the complex history that happened and how it finally came back together, and got reunified.
Yeah.
Like, this is really really cool history, right? I think the
We have
way
to think
history
about it.
is, yeah, I think the way history is taught. Okay, think about it this way. Something struck me the other day. I was like, why was history kind of boring as a kid? But I would get into like fictional history, right? Like, why would I
Hmm.
like get invested into fictional history? And I think it's because the way that it's presented. You know, I think if you could
Totally.
take
Sure.
history, world history, and turn it into like almost like a world building, kind of experience, like
Yes.
like learning about like I don't know, a Final Fantasy world or something. I don't know, because there's amazing Earth history. It's like really crazy stuff, but it's just not packaged right.
Well, when you think about stuff that's timeless, right? Think about something like Shakespeare. He has all of those histories and people love them and we watch them and we perform them and we read them. And those aren't boring, you know what I mean? And they're legitimate history,
Right.
and cultures, and he goes into different regions and stuff. And so I think that, when we look at something like Flux Destiny, now Flux Destiny is obviously alternate, but there are parts of it that draw from real history, and real things that have happened. And so, it's all about storytelling. It's how you tell a story. And
Yes, yes.
I feel like most stories are just history, and stories. I mean, what is history besides a story, besides something that happened to somebody and a conflict that happened, or something like that. So it's just very interesting. It's interesting stuff. And,
Yeah. No,
I'm a
for
big
sure.
history buff. I like ancient history. So RC and I, we kind of miss each other sometimes on the history stuff. I like military history, but I'm not as big of a fan as I am about like ancient history. So we miss each other a little bit sometimes, but we're both fans. We get the like kind of pride we have in our different like specialties. You know what I mean? And our like state history and stuff like that. So,
It's funny because they make you learn. I don't know if do they make you in Oklahoma do this? In Texas, you have to take Texas history, which is boring.
Oh yeah,
Texas,
I had to take
Tex
Oklahoma
is there
history
Oklahoma
every
history?
year.
Uh,
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Gag me with a spoon. Texas history is, I don't know why it's so boring. Even my kids, when we talk about it, like it's so boring, and I don't know why, because there are some really fascinating things that have happened, but most of it is like, you learn about Texas's war with Mexico. That's like the
Yep.
big thing, right? Is like, okay, yes, we defeated. I think Santa Anna was kind of a. It just seemed like he was kind of a lame general because it just right. It's such a
Yeah.
boring. Like, how did you lose, bro? Like, what? How did you lose? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Um,
Oklahoma history is not boring, but it's very scarce. So it's not like, because it's basically like it's Native American history, which could be very fascinating, but is also limited, Um, and then there's uh the Land Rush, which is interesting, and then there's the Dust Bowl, and then that's it. There's Oklahoma history, and you're done. I just taught you everything that I know about Oklahoma in those 3 sentences.
Do
Because
they
that's
do they
pretty much it.
cover? I don't want to get all like controversial and deep, and I just you can say yes or no to this. But do they cover like, given how much Native American history is there and the reservations and all that history of what's happened there? Is that covered or glossed over?
Um, a lot of it is covered, but when you start getting into the modern times, like what's still going on, it's not covered. You kind of have to
Uh,
learn about that. Like you think, oh, like everything's good now, and not necessarily. You know what I
yeah.
mean? That's not necessarily true, and you don't really learn that until you get older. I don't think it's on purpose. I don't think they're like trying to cover it up or something, but I do think that they're like, they're like, oh, it's whatever, and it's not, it's like, well, things
I
happened, and
I'm just gonna say it probably is on purpose, but
it's
seeing
maybe it is on
seeing what
purpose,
happens here in Texas, because we have the same issue in Texas, is like there's a lot of like stuff that a lot of like politics gets involved, that they want to kind of censor the history and stuff that's taught here. And
Sure,
so I
yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if there's, again, I don't want to get into all that here. I just had to like gloss over that myself and
It's
just
it
say,
is covered. It's covered, but it's romanticized, I think. Like most history is to kids, it's
mm-mm.
romanticized into this happened and it was terrible, but now we're all better, and it's like that's not necessarily always true. When I grew up,
Right.
like I this is going to sound silly, but when I grew up, I didn't know that there were still countries that like had political systems that were based on communism. Now, I wasn't
Mm.
like stupid, but I was like, oh, we like, America like did all this stuff and now it's over. And it's like that's not how history works. Things don't
Right,
just end.
exactly.
You know what I mean? It's not just like,
Exactly.
oh,
No, I
and
know
now
what you
there are
mean.
no more weapons. You know what I mean? And
Right.
for a long time I thought like, oh, now everything's done. You know what I mean? And people would be like, "Oh, there's conflicts in other countries with the US." And in my mind I'd be like, didn't we win every war in the world? Like, isn't it over?" And it's like that's not how history works. You know what I mean? There are consequences and things linger, So it's very interesting how we
Well,
learn history
I
here.
don't blame you for that, because I'll tell you that that American history for a period of time, I think I told you the pre-September 11th history of like growing up in a pre and post September
Mhm.
11th world was very different. Like the world
Mhm.
was insanely different, and it felt it's hard to explain for anyone who was either too young or wasn't born prior to that time, but I can tell you that um there was America was perceived very differently prior to that,
Mm.
and everyone everyone was really there was a time when, like, especially during the time when like the Berlin Wall collapsed
Mhm.
and fell, and the Soviet Union collapsed and Germany reunified. All those kind of things happened together around a very similar time. All those things happening together, there's a reason why that 90s period was very optimistic, because then we started looking at also um, the internet started coming around,
Mm.
right? And so the internet, there was this like optimism that I cannot explain to you, that really is, I find very sad that I don't like living in this kind of nihilistic existence we kind of have right now.
Mm.
Everything's feels very nihilistic and hopeless right now, and I hate that. It'll eventually change, but it just feels that way.
Yeah. I think we as humans are I've said this to other people before. I don't know if I've ever said it here. I think my opinion is when you look at ancient history, you know, you go, oh, they had the Bronze Age, which lasted thousands of years, and then you look at the Gold Age and the Silver Age and the Iron Age, these ages, right, where technology grew so slowly that it took them, and it was not, hey, oh, I built this technology, it's now worldwide. It's, hey, I built this technology and it takes hundreds of years to get to other people. You know what I mean? Like, it takes so long for information to spread. Now, think about that, And think about that suddenly, with the ability, technology suddenly have the ability to go worldwide in a matter of milliseconds, right?
Right.
That has completely changed the way that we go through ages. Everything used to be so slow and things were
Right.
slowed down so much. And now their trends pass in matters of days. When in the past, trends, when you look at trends in fashion and pottery and things like that, they could tell the dates of things because of the trend. They could go, oh, this is a, span of 200 years where they were making pottery like this. And now it's like, hey, we make one bowl and then tomorrow we'll make a new one. I mean, that's when you think about the gap, of how fast we have suddenly started to cram information. It's hard, I think, to like when people used to be, delivering news on horseback, it's like that news took forever to get to you and things have changed so much. It's like, oh, well, what can you do about it? This war is over or whatever. And now everything comes at you so fast. I think everybody is overstimulated. You know what I mean? With all of
it's
this
hard.
information.
It is. That's a great way to put it, because there's too much information and nothing sticks, right? And also remember yesterday we were talking about how you don't even know what's real anymore. Like I can't explain how insane it is that, like, you can't trust anything. You can't trust the news. You can't trust what you see on TV. You can't trust on the internet, because there's so much, and all this AI garbage that's around. It's insane. So it's a very weird transitional period that we're in right now. And I like that meme. There's a meme that talks about, like, I'm kind of tired of living through all these, like, historical moments right now.
Yeah. Well,
and
but
it's like,
I'm sure that people in the past were also living through historical moments, but they didn't know it. They had no access to understand that they were going through something historic. And we have such a wonderful blessing to now have the knowledge of many, many things that keeps us alive and safe and connected.
Exactly.
Which in itself is a blessing.
So,
but
word. No, the reason,
like,
you're spitting facts, because I was reading about, oh, sorry, you finish your thought and I'll shut up.
No, we have to, I think that as a human race, we have to realize that it's okay for us to slow down. It's okay for us not to be in control of everything. There is no way that I can only do my best, right? I can only do my best. And sometimes when you look at the world and you see you're gathering so much information, it can feel like a lot. And you just have to remember to slow down, to remember that you can only do your best, and that, and things, you have to remember to stay hopeful. You can only be hopeful yourself. You can't get hope. It's one of the only things you cannot get from other people. You know what I mean? You have to generate your own hope. Darkness is easy. You know what I mean? Darkness is easy because I can tell somebody dark things. You know what I mean? But I can't necessarily give them hope, right? So it's something that you have to generate yourself, and it's really interesting to be in our day, to be in our day and age. And I'm grateful for a lot of things. I'm glad I don't have to go through plagues. I'm glad I get to live to be past 30.
Pass around the collection dish. Sister Ella is preaching today. Let her. This is. She's dropping facts. It's so true. Yes, preach, girl. That's great. It's so true. I think we lose perspective. We were talking about perspective the other day, where it's like, look, you didn't want to live during the, like, dark ages or anything, or even that long ago. Like, even living like 100 years ago was not a walk in the park. No. I don't think people realize that when I was in high school, the internet started happening. Just when the internet, I sent my first email in 1994. That's when we got internet in school. Like, and it wasn't even internet. It was like dial-up, like where we had to send, where we got to send. I was in 94. I was 14, and I think I told this story before about my pen pals in, like, Russia, and that's relatively recent. Okay, 1994 may seem like a long time ago for some people if you're young, but it's really, in the grand scheme of things, not that long ago. what is that, 30
Yeah.
years ago? And
Mm-hmm.
so it's not that long. So the internet just started, and actually, when I was in high school, there was like there's always debate as to how, like, could we actually use the internet to, like, because we used to have to go to the library, okay, to like research stuff, and there was always like a it was such a controversial thing to be like, okay, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to allow the students to start like quoting from. We had to learn how to cite the internet and everything. It was crazy. By the way, how much time do I have?
7 minutes.
Okay. And the reason I say all that is that the speed at which things happened, it's unique for people like, I know definitely Joe, because Joe's I always say Joe knows because I know Joe in my neighborhood generationally, and you know, he remembers that time too, and we talk about that.
Hey,
It's
come on, let's go out. Don't step on the keyboard. Come this way. This way. Turn your body. Good job.
You're turning 29. Is that so? That's the one that's coming up. You're turning 29. I don't remember turning 29. I'm not a birthday person though. I've never kind of celebrated my own birthday, but my family is always insisting on making a big. I'm like, I don't. It's one of those things. I don't know why I get embarrassed about my birthday. Like, I hate when it comes around. And I start getting embarrassed about it. I don't know why. I know that sounds insane.
No, I think that it's I I don't want to get too deep, but um I think that we all have to learn to be okay aging. I think that
Yes.
with trends. Now, here's something that I do think is important to remember in our age of quickness is that because things go so fast, I think people think of themselves as a trend. And you cannot think of yourself like that. You're not a fashion. You're not going to be thrown away because you grow older. You know, you have to remember that you're a person. You're not some app, that's gonna die off in a few
That's an
years.
interesting way to look at it. I hadn't thought of it that way. That's very interesting.
Well,
That's
because we
true.
grow up,
True, Joe.
in a time that everything is so quick. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we like Subway today, we hate it tomorrow. We like this company,
Well,
now we hate it.
the whole thing about old is a very Western product, right?
Yeah.
It's a very Western product where old, like you're old, because in other cultures, being the older you get, the more respect you garner, even if it's deserved or not, right? Just by it's almost the inverse, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're just old, and for better or worse, it can be revered. But in Western culture, it's not. It's really insane. I don't want to be 20 again. I'll tell you that. I don't want to be 20 again. I would like to be 20 again physically, but keep my 45 years of experience. I want to keep that, but I would obviously want to not. But I found that as getting older, you start coming to those realizations that it's like, just from my perspective, I like my age. I like where I am, and
Yeah.
it's one of the things is that I look back, and I know I'll look back at even this time, and I've still got a lot of life and learning to do. I'm by
Sure.
no means finished.
Absolutely.
So
And that's the best way to think about it too, and if anybody is thinking, oh well, I want to start something but I'm too old, you absolutely don't ever have to rush. I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm out of time." And it's like you're never
so
really out
true.
of time until you're out of time. And then you obviously you should feel motivated and you should get started, you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is there's a difference between being motivated to get started and feeling like it's too late. Those are different things. You know what I mean? You should never feel like it's too
Well,
late, but you should feel
again,
motivated to get
so true.
going.
Again, that's another Western product, right? Where it's like you have to succeed when you're like because they we show all these stories about these billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg and these others who like made billions of dollars out of their dorm room, and that becomes like, well, you have to. And actually, that's kind of the stuff I do with Flux Destiny, with like Great Escape Artists and stuff. Is I want to show that, right, where everyone is kind of obsessed with being like these, you have to be great and you have to be whatever right away. And the truth is, you can be great at any point in your life. It's not about, we've been kind of sold this thing where it's like, if you don't become a millionaire by the time you're like 22, then you're a failure. This is insane. It's absolutely insane. Yep. But those are some sicknesses in our culture, at least in the Western culture, that need to be. I don't know if they'll ever be addressed. In fact, they'll probably be made worse just with social media has made things worse. Social media has made things. Although you can tell me if I'm wrong. You guys can disagree with me, but I feel like social media in its current form is dying.
I agree.
I don't think it's what it used to be. Ella and I talk about this a lot. I think it's dying, and I'm glad it's dying because I hate it. Because I read this article. I think that talked about. Oh, let me just say this real quick. I read this article that put it in a way that I hadn't thought of before, where it was talking about how social media has become, for all the stuff that talks about. I do remember Channel 1. Moose, I remember Channel 1 very, very, very well. That was like a big deal. Anyway, sorry. For all the talking about, social, like legacy media, and we're like, oh, legacy media is dead or whatever. I think the article talks about the reason why social media is dying is that it has become legacy media. It used to be that if your social media was like, if like you liked RC's art, you would go follow RC's art. And then if I posted something, it would show up on my timeline, right? You'd get it. But now that's not how it works anymore. It's like pay for access, right? If I want to have my stuff reach people, I have to pay money, right? It's like advertising on a TV network, right? Like in the old days. So it's like, if I got to pay to have my stuff delivered. And the way their algorithms work now is that they don't serve. Like, I don't want to see all this other shit. Like, I want to see stuff that I want to follow.
Yeah.
Right? But anyway.
No, agreed.
How's the time, by the way?
Well, we're actually reaching the end of time for this one. So I think we're ready to start on Noodle Boy.
Okay. And then after Noodle Boy is the OC spotlight?
It's OC. Yep. Right. And we say all this, by the way, this is topical. I know you're thinking, this is a manga studio. Why are they talking about all of this? It's because it shows up in Flux Destiny. Now, not necessarily like in a major way, but it's an alternate Earth, which means that it mimics reality. You know what I mean? That's what it does.
When
that's what stories do. The best ones do.
If anything, when you're world building, some of the best world building draws inspiration from real things in real life, right? And you look at, that's why I'm obsessed with kind of this stuff. It's like, okay, well, how do you learn from human behavior in real life and then apply it to world building? That's why, you do that. So when we talk about these things, that's also what makes it relatable. Is that, because you live through that,
And I think, here's the last thing I'll say. I think that life is an adventure, and you should treat your life like a story. And instead of getting frustrated about social media and, the world and this or that, take it, as it comes and live through the story. Take pieces of it and get excited about new social media and new trends and things that are happening, but don't necessarily get attached to them. You know what I mean? Like, learn that things are changing, and our world is crazy, and it's an adventure. So
it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Like,
it's pretty crazy. I don't know if you guys know this, but our Earth, pretty crazy.
It's my life's a little crazy, but like,
it's a little crazy.
It's so true though. Okay, sorry. Let me just finish these hairs real quick. I'm almost done.
Of course, yeah. Thank you, C.
What C? I'm sorry. What did I miss? What did
C
C say?
says, can we say how majestic Hugo's hair is looking?
Oh, thank you. C, and you know, it's funny. C, I was gonna comment on something you said. Thank you very much. I like to, you know how much fun I have drawing hair. You mentioned something about the streaming services and how everything is kind of reverted. Like I'm watching HBO. I have HBO Max. I'm watching it. I'm like, why am I seeing ads? Like I pay for this stuff. Like this went from being what it used to be, and actually now ads are stupid because they repeat the same ad over and over. At least when I watched broadcast television, there was like a slew of different commercials, and maybe they would rerun.
Right, because they're tailored.
Yeah, but now
they're
everything
tailored.
is tailored. Like, bro, I don't know why they keep showing me like Tide Pods commercials. I'm like, okay, fine. I don't buy the Tide Pods. Can you make those go away? And you're not funny.
I get so many ads for products that RC and I use. And I go, every time something comes on, a service comes on that RC and I use, I go, I already use you. Please stop advertising to me. You know? So it's just something interesting, and it's something that, you know, will come up when we talk about Flux Destiny ads and things like that, because, you know, it's kind of reminiscent of a different time. So it's very interesting, and I hope that you guys see some of this in Flux Destiny and go, oh my gosh, I remember they were talking about this, and this reminds me of this thing, or, you know, this reminds me of something in the 90s or whatever. I hope that you see it, because it's gonna be a lot of fun to kind of pick those out.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I am just adding the last strands here. I was telling Moni that I think Hugo's hair is so insane that like if it gets wet, it's like a disaster. Like it's like it's.
Well, to be fair,
like
here
insane.
he's laying down.
Here he's laying down, obviously, but like I imagine like his hair is like if it gets wet, it's like a disaster. Like that's why it's always kind of like all over the place. Is that his hair is just a big mess. All right, I'm ready. So now we're going to, what was it again? I'm sorry.
Noodle boy.
Noodle boy.
He's like eating those noodles.
Got it. All right, well, I got pretty far. I almost got his head done, so rest will be easy. Okay. Let's get to Noodle boy. And then how much time do I have on him?
Another 30 minutes.
Another 30, all right. All right. Okay, I am ready to go.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. This is one of my favorites. I think we were trying to put his book. You remember he's reading a...
Oh, that's what it was. Is it in his lap? Like...
Yes.
Or like on the ground?
It's like balanced on his knee lap area. Yeah.
It's like right here or something like this. I know it's delayed for you, so.
Yeah, I think you were trying to put it in the crook of one of his kind of...
Okay, got it.
Of one of his knees, yeah. Yes, I'm seeing it now, and yes, that's exactly what I was thinking that you were going to do.
Okay, all right.
He understood. He understood what I was trying to say.
What's that?
They were saying, like, because I was just saying, like, oh, his lap area, and everybody was like, what? He's got a big lap, and I was like, I'm sorry. He knows. RC he put it exactly where I thought he was gonna put it.
He's got a big. You've got a big lap, Hugo.
Well, they're like, where specifically?
Oh,
you know,
all right.
I'm
just being.
He got it.
Lap shaming.
Does Flux Destiny have moon shoes?
Moon shoes?
Yeah, like 90s.
You mean
like 90s?
Yeah, like the.
I don't know what some of this stuff is. I don't know what GAC is.
Oh, GAC. GAC was so Nickelodeon used to sell. I missed the Nickelodeon era, to be honest with you. when Nickelodeon was like legit.
Yeah.
So Gak was like a slime. They used to sell a slime.
Oh, and it was called Gak. Why not
It
call it
was called
slime?
it was called Gak. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know why it was just like, oh, kids will think this is crazy. You know, it's called Gak. And so
Very interesting.
do you think he's reading the fundamental concepts of Clockwork Karmastry Volume 3?
I think so. I imagine that this is a headcanon, so don't take this seriously. I imagine that Hugo has stuffed in his textbooks at certain points, like little comics or manga or something, that when he gets to that point, he reads it as his like reward.
Bro, that is so cute. That is so cute. I love that.
Not that he doesn't like to read, he just is like, he likes to read other, fun stuff too, so he's like, okay, after this,
Right. That is so cute. I like that. Why Volume 3? I think because he probably reads a lot, so I figure he's not just reading the introduction. There was this little.
If he's working if he's working at the noodle shop at this point, then he would be.
That's right. That's right. He'd be studying, right?
Beast King, I was born in 99, so I did not wake up. I was in the era where Nickelodeon didn't have like, they had like Nickelodeon and then they would switch to like adult television or whatever, like normal television. I don't remember a time like that. Like I always had Nickelodeon was like its own channel, by the time that they didn't have like Nick at Night. That wasn't like a thing when I was a kid. So no, I don't really remember.
It's funny because when I was a kid and they had Nick at Night was still a thing when you were a kid, when it switched to Nick at Night?
I knew about it, but it was not really a thing when I was growing up. They were switching to full-time Nickelodeon.
Oh, it was full-time Nickelodeon. Okay.
Yeah.
So I grew up at a time when they used to do that switch. And it was actually kind of cool because you'd watch, I don't know how to explain it. I used to watch all these old movie, like old TV shows, like Mr. Ed, which is hysterical. Like some of these shows are hysterical, right? Like do you know what Mr. Ed is? Okay, Mr. Ed is a show about a talking horse. And this guy, his name is Wilbur. He's like an architect or something. I forget the origin story of how he ends up with this horse. But he ends up with this horse. I think it was because they bought this house and it had a barn in the back. And the horse can talk, and his name is Mr. Ed. And he only speaks to Wilbur.
Mm-hmm.
And he only speaks to him, and everyone thinks that Wilbur is crazy because like the horse will speak to him, but not to anyone else. And I think, if I recall, I think Wilbur has like a boss or someone that is like, I think he was played by, what's his name? Oh my god, what's that actor's name? He was on I Love he always played like a stuffy like executive. He always had like a mustache, and he was like, what was his name? Oh my god, it's escaping me. I love this actor because he's always. Oh, he was on Dennis the Menace too, which I love Dennis the Menace. It's someone tell me. He was the second season of Dennis the Menace after the original Mr. Wilson died. This guy played him. Oh my god, someone will look him up and put it in the chat. How am I forgetting this? I'm such a fan of Dennis the Menace and I forget this. Have you seen Dennis the Menace?
No.
It's so wholesome and funny. It's insane. It's actually, if you watch Dennis the Menace from I'm talking old Dennis the Menace, it's really funny. It's really crazy. The things that would happen to Mr. Wilson. And it's really sad because do you even know the premise of Dennis? Okay.
No.
Sorry. Okay. You're like, what is he talking about? Okay, so
No,
Dennis.
I'm listening. I'm learning.
Okay, so Dennis the Menace. The premise of Dennis the Menace is that there's this, um, just that you don't know where it is. They don't say where this town is or whatever, but they live in this, just regular all-American 50s, early 60s kind of town, and very like, everyone wears suits, even in the house.
Right.
Joseph Kearns was the original Mr. Wilson, Joe. I'm talking about the one who took over after him. He was a famous actor back. Gail Gordon. Gail Gordon. That's who it is. I love Gail Gordon. Love Gail Gordon. Like, okay, do you know when I do the whole like British like sneezing and stuff like that?
Yes.
Like that vibe. He's not British, but like that vibe, that's him. Okay. Anyway, so the deal with Dennis is that he's this well-meaning boy, but he's always creating problems for people. Right? Like he's not bad. He's actually very good, but he inadvertently causes problems and like ruins things for people. And so Mr. Wilson is his neighbor. And he's like his crotchety neighbor, which by the way, it's crotchety. What's so funny is it's crotchety, but I found out that Mr. Wilson's like only 50 years old or something in the story, but he's like retired and like acting old in his pants.
Is that the joke that they do in Amazing World of Gumball with Mr. Wilson being Gumball's next door neighbor?
Yes.
Is that the joke?
I'm pretty sure that's what they're referencing.
Because he's like this old neighbor who's like they're always trying to help him, but they're not. Is that the joke? I am now my whole world is opening
it's all references, bro. And so anyway, Mr. Wilson. Oh, okay. Well, they're reminding me that I didn't finish talking about Mr. Ed. I get so excited about this stuff because it's like it's fun. Actually.
I've heard the premise. So now that you've explained it, I've heard the premise of Dennis the Menace. I didn't realize that because I think there was also a comic that
it was based on a newspaper comic.
I see. Okay, yeah. So I remember. This sounds counterintuitive, but I actually remember. I remember the newspaper comic because I would get them in the back of my comic books.
Yeah, you probably saw. He's like a blonde kid with like red overalls or whatever.
Yes.
Anyway, so it's based off the same thing. Although Mr. Wilson looks more like Gail Gordon, who played the second. What happened was the actor who played Mr. Wilson in the first season of it was he died, unfortunately. He had a health thing and he died like completely surprised, like out of nowhere he died. And he played that role so well in the show. And they had to, the way they explained it, his death in the show, they didn't explain his death. They just said he had to move away. And that the new Mr. Wilson, who isn't Mr. Wilson, looks more like the Mr. Wilson from the comic with the mustache and everything. That's who Gail Gordon is. He's the one who ends up taking over. And then eventually Martha Wilson, who's original Mr. Wilson's wife, she kind of moves away too. But they never like say anything. She just kind of disappears, which is sad because she had this kind of like... Mr. Wilson never had children in the show. And so there's always this kind of like... Maybe I'm reading too deep into it because you know how I am, but it's like I read into the thought that Martha Wilson, I start creating like this headcanon about it, that she regrets never having children. And Dennis is like the son she didn't have, you know? And it's really sad when I'm telling you, I could take the whole Mr. Wilson like cinematic universe, the whole cinematic universe, and create like I have this vision for how they should have handled it, but of course it was back then. They're not going to talk about that kind of stuff on TV, right? Like it was a kids show. They didn't want to scare the kids or whatever. You know, it's like stop coddling the kids. Tell them Mr. Wilson kicked the bucket. You know, but use it like it would have been great storytelling. In fact, pause the timer. Sorry, I have to say this. Pause the timer. What is so fascinating about this is... Hold on. I'm losing what I was going to say. Wait, don't say anything. Oh my god, how did I lose this point? I was about to make this point that I'm. What was I saying right before that?
You said this is how I think they should have handled it with his death. And you were saying don't cuddle kids, just tell him that he kicked the bucket. That's what you said.
Oh, I remember now. Okay. So what it was is that what happened with Dennis the Menace was that his character, the Jay North who played Dennis the Menace, I think he was like 12 or something when he started playing the show. He started growing up. There's a big difference between like a 12 and like a 14-year-old, right? Like this is a big difference.
Yeah.
And so having a teenager at that point starting to behave like Dennis the Menace was not believable and kind of,
Yeah.
it's just a big difference. So I see this obviously in retrospect as a creator. I see this as like, oh, what an opportunity to switch the tone of the show, right? That Mr.
Yeah.
Wilson died around the time that they were talking about, oh, Jay North is kind of getting too old for this role, right? Like he's too old to be playing this like kid who's running around doing this stuff. They could have shifted. I wrote like in my head this whole other like idea of like they could have shifted the show's tone and everything. Obviously, it probably wouldn't have worked for TV at that time. It would have worked today. But that Mr. Wilson died, that we actually deal with Mr. Wilson's death, right? And Dennis, the next couple seasons is about Dennis going through high school and getting ready to go to college. And like the whole tone of the show starts changing. And you can still have the humor and everything, but it's a different kind of humor because now you're dealing with Dennis dealing with like high school kind of stuff, but also dragging in the new Mr. Wilson, who we don't gloss over the fact that old Mr. Wilson died because Dennis loved Mr. Wilson, like loved him, and like everything he would do was always trying to make things like he always thought would make Mr. Wilson proud or happy or whatever, but he always ended up like ruining things for Mr. Wilson, right? Always,
yeah.
Like, anyway, I'll shut up now.
No, it's good. I like it. I like it.
Here's
what they should have done. I've never seen the show, but here's what I would have done. So he's growing up, right? And he's Dennis the Menace because he's trying to do good things, but then he's actually messing it up. But then as he becomes a teenager, he realizes this and he's like, you know what? If everybody thinks I'm a menace, I'm going to be a menace. And so he starts acting like a teenager.
Shoot. Oh, shoot.
Yeah. And then, but instead of everything going wrong, everything always goes right. And so he's trying to be a menace, but instead of being a menace, everything goes well. And it completely changes. So he's still Dennis the Menace, you know? That's what I would have done.
That is very interesting.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
I would like you to please... You won't do this. I'll ask you, but you won't do it. I would like you to watch... I always ask her to watch and she won't. But I would love for you to watch...
Let me see what it's on.
Okay, you can watch it on YouTube. I want you to watch the episode about the bird club because Mr. Wilson is like an avid birder. Is that what you call them? People who are like bird club people? Anyway, he's so excited because he's got like the president of the National Bird Society or something's coming to his house, and they have this whole thing about, they have like they're getting ready for this guy to come, and then it is the funniest episode. It is so funny. If you just need like cozy core Ella like stuff, I'm telling you, you will dig. You will absolutely dig this. You will absolutely dig.
Okay.
So,
this actor looks like my younger brother when he was little. Oh no, he looks just like him.
Who? Dennis the Menace?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks just like my blonde-headed when he was young, when he was little.
He just passed away.
No, now I'm gonna cry.
You have to watch it. He's so wholesome in the show.
I will.
And he just what are they called, Joe? I don't know what they're called. What do you call them, Birder? Dennis the Menace, that actor just died like a few months ago.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, he just passed away. I mean, I don't remember how old he was. I don't know if he was in his 70s.
I'll watch it. I'll try to remember.
Please, please, because you will love it. I think you will really love it. It's a total cozy core. It's kind of like it's very Norman Rockwell America kind of feeling.
Right,
You know?
right.
Totally unrealistic. You know, the mom is in the kitchen wearing high heels, that kind of stuff. You know,
Right.
but it's done in such a way that doesn't feel oppressive, in my opinion.
Sure.
Like I rewatching it now. When I rewatched it not too long ago, I rewatched it because this is before you and I were working together, Ella, but I was going through a very difficult time a couple years ago, and I needed something, I just needed something to just, you know, escape kind of mentally something I was dealing with. And anyway, it's just very, you know, and I expected watching it from kind of our modern society perspective and being like, okay, this is going to be rough, right? Because I hadn't seen it since I was a little kid. But no, actually, I was surprised. I thought that, you know, especially with how they treat the mom, you know, that the mom would be like subservient to the dad and stuff like that. Just kind of that classic, like, 50s,
Right.
like stereotypical kind of like what people think the 50s, you know, how it was portrayed.
Right.
Anyway, so it's really not that way. I was actually pleasantly surprised that it wasn't that way. I mean, there's elements and stuff, but
Sure.
anyway, where am I going with this? Anyway, it's just pleasant. It's a pleasant show, and I think you will like it. And Dennis is a lot of fun, and the stuff that's always, it's one of those things that the secondhand embarrassment that you get in this show from watching the stuff that Dennis does, and like you're like, oh my god, don't do that, please don't do that, you know. Then he does it,
Right.
but everything always ends up working out in the end, which is super cute because again, his intention was never to hurt anybody. It's always from the best intentions that he does things, and things end up working out for him, for the people that, you know, he always ends up helping Mr. Wilson out, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, there's the school play one where Mr. Wilson gets like,
Oh no.
what? Oh, the school play?
School play?
Oh, the school play one? I could see Joe, I could see you playing Mr. Wilson. I'm just gonna say, I could see Joe being, I feel like I am Dennis to Joe, like Joe's Mr. Wilson, and I could see Joe.
I see. Yeah.
I could see Joe in my school play, like me dragging him in.
That's so
into
funny.
That.
That's
anyway,
so funny.
To finish the story about Mr. Ed. Oh, sorry, you're gonna say something?
Well, so my thing is I actually really struggle with, there are certain things that you would think that I really like, but I actually really struggle with them because I struggle with, secondhand embarrassment a lot.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody does something, like, okay, so, you know, the show, Gilmore Girls, everybody's like, oh, Ellie, you'd love it. I've watched that show, and I hate that show. And it is just because every conflict is a misunderstanding, and every conflict is like secondhand embarrassment, like, oh, I embarrassed myself. It legitimately drives me up the wall, like, to watch, because there's nothing, it feels so, like, artificial that they're creating these problems. So I'm gonna do my best with this show, and I'll let you know. I'll tell you. I'll be like, RC, I can't do it. It's too, you know.
No, it's actually, it's not that kind of stuff. It's always something that, you know, there are misunderstandings, but it's goofy. It's not meant to be like.
Yeah, I think I'll like it.
It's not meant. It doesn't take itself seriously. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes.
So, okay, going back to Mr. Ed. So Mr. Ed, because Joe's mad that I'm not talking about Mr. Ed. So Mr. Ed, so he mentions Bewitched in his like, he's like, oh, the best show is Mr. It's actually very similar to Bewitched because no one believed, if I remember, no one believed that the genie was real, right? Especially Major. Really? Was that it? No, Major. I forget the name of Major. Nelson was the main character. I forget the name of the colonel or the general, whatever, that's his boss. And it's so funny because he always like, I could have sworn there was an elephant in And everyone's like always he's always being dragged away. Like
Yeah.
his boss, Major Nelson's boss, is always like, everyone thinks that he's this stuffy, like British sounding guy, and he's always like, trying to get Major Nelson in trouble. And he's like, I knew it. I knew you were crazy, and I'm gonna show. Then what will end up happening is that the genie will conjure something like an elephant, right? Will like literally show up in the room, and no one else will see it except the general, who is like, because Major Nelson is like an astronaut, and so he's like a, I don't know, captain or something, major or something in the military. And so I forget the name of the colonel or whatever that's his boss, and he's always running into that situation where he thinks that he's gotten the proof.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is the genie will make him look insane. He'll be like, yes, I could have sworn there was an elephant in this room. And he's the boss, but then his boss, who's like the director of NASA or something, always like, okay, I think you need to leave now. And it's always like embarrassing him, because he's like, no, I swear there was an elephant. It was right here. And it's like, no, you need to go rest. We're gonna have a long talk about this later. And it's really satisfying. Cute. It's a cute show too.
Cute.
We need cute shows.
I agree. We need to have a watch party of old TV shows. I wish we could do that. I'm sure one day when RC and I have a studio space, those will just be playing in a loop, like in the lobby or something like that.
Okay, so going back to Mr. Ed, because I didn't get to finish Mr. Ed. Mr. Ed, because we cannot have this discussion.
You've got 7 minutes.
We cannot have this discussion without finishing up Mr. Ed. Mr. Ed was, like I said, I explained to you the premise that it's very similar, where it's like, you've got this guy who owns a barn, and the horse can talk, and he's like, hey, Wilbur, like he sounds like that.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, and so it's really funny because everyone thinks that he's Alfred Bellows. That's his name, Alfred Bellows. That was the name of Eric. Thank you, which is a great name. It's such a stuffy name for this character. I'm gonna find you like great Alfred Bellows moments. I'm gonna send it to you. And it's hysterical. It's hysterical. I'm telling you, it's hysterical. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm all over ADD, all over the map today, but I think I just get excited to talk about it because I'm like, it's just fun. It's just fun old stuff that's like wholesome and,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what my problem is.
I love it. No, I love it.
I'll go take some ibuprofen later and shut up. I promise. Get back to drama.
No, please. Finish your story, please.
I sometimes become self-aware. I'm like, are you listening to yourself? Is this what you want to be known as? The alternate universe Dennis the Menace writer? Is this really what you want to do?
Oh my god.
But I see it as a creative exercise. I don't look at it from like, it's not because I'm obsessing over the lore of that.
Yes.
I look at it and go, if you could take that show and like do X, Y, and Z with it, it could actually be really cool, right? And like you could repack it. I don't know. I'm crazy.
Did you finish your story about
what?
About the horse?
Okay, so the horse, it really is very similar. All those shows have very similar premises, where it's like, okay, there's there's not misunderstanding in the Gilmore Girls ways, but it's mainly like I don't know what you would even call that. It's like absurdity.
It's more wholesome,
it's
cozier.
Absurdity. It's absurdity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's what it is.
So the ridiculousness isn't embarrassing. It's just funny because it's just taken to the extreme.
It's absurd. Yeah. It's crazy. Oh, welcome back, Corn. Golden Girls is an amazing show. Golden Girls is so funny. Golden Girls is legit funny. Like B. Arthur is hysterical. They're all just You got to trust me. If you've never watched Golden Girls, it's really funny. Like all those shows are hysterical. It's funny because you look at some of those shows and then you look at other shows that were popular, and you're like, this show really is kind of dumb, but it's just the vibe I like about it. Like,
well, again, it's slower. It's
wait, what do you?
it's slower than modern shows. You could go on and on and on, and it's not this crazy premise that we've got to finish in one season and all of this stuff. You know, like nowadays it's like I've got to fit a whole thing into one season in case we get canceled or whatever. And it's like that's not how things work. Like if a Golden Girls started today, it would be over in a season because like everybody would be like it's too slow, you know, and then that would be it.
Right.
So.
You know, like some shows that I think are popular just for the vibe, because I think otherwise, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to get hatred for this, but like, I liked Full House, but not because it was well written. It's actually a really dumb show. But
I did not like Full House either. It's one of the only older shows that I've like watched all the way through. And I thought that it's
kind of obnoxious. It's an obnoxious show.
Yeah.
But I like the vibe of it. I don't know how to explain.
Sure.
I think it's just like there's a simplicity to it that I like. You know, that everything is just kind of. I don't know how to explain it. It's you don't want to think.
It's
well, hold on. You don't want to think too much about it because then you like you start having like existential crisis about how this is kind of creepy. How Full House is like everything gets resolved in an episode and everything is so like you can't think too deeply about it. You have to just enjoy it.
No, of course not. And it's not meant to be like that. I think the reason that we as a generation go back to shows like that is because we want their problems. You know what I mean? And that's why it's cozy. Because their problems are like, oh no, I forgot my textbook. And it's like, I wish, you know, I wish I could just forget my textbook.
Get this girl a podcast.
You know?
Get this girl a podcast.
A podcast.
It's so true. You are just word. That is exactly. That's the thing. It's the simplicity of life, right? Like I absolutely hate the Olsen twins on the show because they're so obnoxious. I don't understand.
Of course, and they're children, you know.
But they're not even. They're just so like entitled and like. I always thought that the kids were very bratty, except Stephanie. Like Stephanie was my favorite of the kids. I always felt like she always got the short end of the stick because all the rest of them, like DJ was always like.
She did.
DJ was always always hyperventilating about something, and she's like, "You're not fair, life," you know, and then like being mean to these people who are trying to keep their lives together, and then Michelle always got away with everything. Michelle got away with everything, and I was like, I don't find you funny or precocious or any of these. I just find you obnoxious and spoiled, and like you're not funny, and like everyone had to cater her on the show, you know?
Yep. Yeah. And I think though it's a product of writing at the time, because in that time I think people thought the same thing, like, oh my gosh, their problems are so ridiculous and ginormous, and now we look at their issues and we're like, where's the problem? You know what I mean?
Oh, like, someone offered me a cigarette at school. Oh,
like oh my gosh, that's the craziest. Yeah, like that's the craziest thing, you know. And it was definitely interesting, you know. And I think that I don't know. I think that you'll actually find now Flux Destiny is very different, but I do think that there's a reason that it's set in a different time period. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of reasons for it, but I think one of them is like when you do something in the past, you kind of stamp it as something that's more solid, you know, because the present is like always changing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, I think we watch old stuff and we go, that was a time when things were, I know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I understand what's happening because it's in the past. It's already done, you know?
Right.
Like, watching an old movie that you've already seen feels more relaxing than watching a new movie sometimes, because it's like, I know what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, even those shows, like I see the talk about Friends and these other shows, like they're all vibey kind of shows. Like there's people who either love or hate Friends, right? And you know,
Yeah, I don't like.
Friends is a show that I never got into, but I understand like why people like it.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand it. I actually think it's partly vibe. That's just my thought. It's very similar than Full House. It's just a vibe to the show that people kind of liked.
Sure.
Vibe to it, but it's not, in my opinion, not very funny. Like even then, I was like, I don't know. It never registered. The humor never registered for me on that show.
Yeah.
The way that other shows do. You know, it had its moments, but I never was like guffawing over that show, you know.
I think it was for a very specific age of people, which is fine.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But I watch Friends, and again, I am not a very big fan of. I really struggle with older shows because everything is misunderstanding. You know, like that's the only way they knew how to do conflict at the time. It's the only thing that they knew how to do, and it drives me nuts because then everybody's mean to each other, and then by the end they're all friends again, and it's like, you know,
It is.
I
It's
don't
very
know.
lazy. It's a very lazy approach to storytelling. You're absolutely right.
Not to say that you can't like those shows. I personally struggle because I don't like that trope. And if you like it, that's fine. You should like things that you like, you know? Anyway, we're done. We're at time actually with this one. We talked a lot. I was pausing it when we started talking. You know, when we started getting
Let me
into
just
deep stuff.
while we queue up the next one, let me just finish this real quick. I'm almost done.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you again for that time on this. You can see that whenever I do like the high quality head stuff, you know, when I draw a head, once the head is done.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. Just one second. You know me.
Yeah, so don't take anything that RC and I, if we have opinions about shows and stuff, you are obviously allowed to like whatever you want. RC and I come at things from a writer and artistic standpoint, which if you ever, I heard this when I was a kid. This was the advice that I got as a kid. If you want to go into art and entertainment, choose anything else because everything will be ruined for you. Because you'll get into it and now you understand it and now you can't look at it the same way. Like I can't watch movies. I can't watch TV or read books or look at manga or comics because I see all of the behind. I know everything. I know what it took to do it. And to me, the enjoyment of it, the escapism is gone. I don't get escapism anymore. You know what I do when I read a book? I'm studying. I'm learning. I'm like analyzing it. Oh, how do they do this? What kind of, you know, prose do they use? Where are their punctuation? How did they format this? I'm not like, oh, I'm reading Lord of the Rings to escape. I mean, it's good, but I know that it's good in like a meta way. You know what I mean? Not from like a place of enjoyment. So when RC and I kind of just like spew opinions, it's from a place of like behind, you know, behind the scenes where we're looking at it, you know. So like if we say something and you're like, you guys are crazy, just know that it comes from a place of like you can like the tropes and things that you like, and please, you should. That's the good thing about you know, about community and enjoying stuff. So, you know, that's all I had to say. Please don't ever let us sway you. That's all I'm trying to say, is we're coming at it from a very, very different standpoint. And you guys who are artists, you know, I'm sure that there are a lot of times you look at RC's work and it's not like, oh, that's amazing art piece. You're like, how did he do those hands and the hair and the line weight? And there's a little bit of enjoyment that's different. You know, it's a different type of enjoyment. So, you know.
All right. Well, I think I drew a pretty fun face here, so I had to do a bunch of corrections to get it to the right proportion. All right. So we're now in the last piece. Now we're gonna do. Thank you again, C, for the time on this. We really appreciate it. Okay. Time to do the OC piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're gonna do. And how much time do I have?
It's 20 minutes. So I'm sure we'll just kind of get this one started.
Okay. So this one is. So So just run down. Can you run down this one again? What do you?
Sure. So this is his character Satoshi. In his so there's kind of two forms, if you remember. There's young Satoshi, and then there's the like post-military. So this is gonna be older Satoshi, and he's gonna be in his military uniform. He's given a salute. He's got probably like a medal or something. He's an ink fighter, but he's kind of gone full ninja mode now, where he's got the mask and he's got kind of his longer hair now, and you know, he probably has more sigils, but I don't know what the military uniform will look like, so it's kind of up to you. But yeah, that's kind of the deal.
Okay.
That we've got going on.
Let's get going there. Give me 1 second. Oh my god. I talk so much. I always tell myself, I'm not gonna talk. I'm just gonna draw. Then I end up talking like.
You had a lot of energy tonight. I don't think I've ever.
I think it's just the things I end up getting passionate about certain things, and I just start talking. Okay. All right. I am ready when you are.
Okay, here we go. 20 minutes.
Oh, hold it. Hold on. I gotta set it up. I'm sorry.
Now we have not done. So we've got an official commission for this character, but he's kind of gotten some sketchy stuff first, which is great. I think it will help us kind of figure out what we've liked about this character, you know? So I'm excited for when we see kind of the official debut piece, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm ready. You can go.
Okay.
I'm hungry, bro. What are you gonna eat? Did you already eat?
Yes, I always eat before stream. Or at least I tried to. I had pizza. My comfort stream food, not that streams are stressful. I want to preface. It's just streams are a lot, you know. It's now I'm very privileged. I don't have to draw on the streams. So I just have to talk. But you know, like I'm like working, you know, I'm entertaining and like being present and, you know, trying to perform and, you know, make sure my mic is on and all that stuff. And so my comfort food is normally like a frozen pizza or like a baked potato or something, because I just need something warm, and pizza's sort of my comfort food. That's like the thing that I like the most when I'm like stressed. So I normally have a pizza. So tonight I had some leftover pizza, and that was my thing that I had.
That sounds awesome. I kind of want to have pizza, but I don't know. Like, I should eat pizza on a weekend. I need to draw tonight. I have to go to work on. I can't eat pizza or I'll fall asleep.
I really like pizza. I like pretty much all pizza, and that's the thing that I really like about it. I really like cheese. I like sauce. I love cooked tomatoes, so sauce, and I love bread. So it's all my favorite things, you know, sort of in one group. So but I am very like sentimental about theming stuff. So I always like hit a weekend and I'm always like, oh, pizza on the weekend, you know, because you eat like, oh, Friday night pizza or like whatever. So I am very like seasonal with what like I eat, you know, and so like when I have a kind of a rough time or a rough night, I'm like, oh, you know, it's pizza. I want pizza, or I want like greasy burgers or tacos or whatever. So I always have like, you know, my themed food, because I like to picture myself as like some kind of struggling artist, you know, and I'm like, oh, with my last $5, you know, I'll buy a pizza.
I love that feeling, like that, not feeling, that vibe of like, oh, I'm gonna have like the Chinese food takeout count.
Yes, yes, exactly.
You know, it's like the Miyazaki cigarette. Like
yes.
It's a vibe. It's like a vibe. You know, like, oh, I'm this like artist and whatever.
Yeah. When I really, really want to get into that vibe, I will put on like really old Family Guy, like from the first few seasons when it's still in the square format, or like baseball from the 70s, and I'll open up like old scripts, you know, like movie scripts, and I'll be like, oh, it's a tough world out there. I'll pretend I'm in New York.
I
You
love
know, I'm
that.
like,
I
oh, it's
love
so
that.
tough out there.
That's fantastic. I love that.
I haven't done that in a while, but when I like really
Deep
need,
respect for that.
sometimes on YouTube I'll put up like, you know, New York City, you know, ambiance, and I'll
Okay,
be
so
like,
I don't feel as crazy as I thought I was. So you actually do very similar things than I do, and I thought I was like,
yeah,
bro, I was like, you're insane, bro.
you have to. I am 100% in the belief that you have to be a character in a story. You
Bro,
know?
beach. Ella is on fire today. What are we gonna do?
There's something, and sometimes you have to make the setting correct. You know what I mean? And it's like, sometimes to be like, for me to be in my proper writing stance, there are certain times a day that I can't write because it's like it's not the right time. You know, the sun is too bright. I just ate. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, I'm too sleepy or whatever. And I'm not saying that, like, of course there are times that I push through. You know, like that's just how work is. But there are also times where I'm like, you know, the vibe isn't right. And it's not
Right.
being lazy. It's just, it's not, you know, I do my best work when I am my best character. You know, once an actor, always an actor. I act like a writer, and then I write good things. Does that make sense? Like, I pretend, I'm like, oh, I am pretending to be somebody who is a famous writer, and then I write, and then I feel like my work is better when I do that. Does that make sense? You know? So that's what I like to do. I like to be a character.
By the way, I saw that you and Corner. Why is baseball from the '70s so amazing? What is it about?
I don't know. It just was a different vibe. It's like the color. It's right before the colors got really saturated, so it's kind of this wash of greens, you know, and blues, and it's just sort of a different. And the announcers still talked in that radio, like that
Like the
teleradio kind of
Mid-Atlantic or
speech, you
whatever.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just very interesting. It's a good tip for those of you who are I do very, very well at interviewing, and I get people ask me, they say, how do you interview so well? And I tell them that I pretend to be somebody who's good at interviewing. And then I'm good at interviewing because I'm pretending to be somebody who's good at it. And that's the secret. that's
I'm
you
gonna
know,
start. I'm gonna start pretending to be someone who knows how to draw.
who what?
Someone who knows how to draw.
Oh, hey, that's a good idea, you know?
I'm gonna start pretending that.
No, you're already good at that.
Look at me fishing for compliments. The worst.
I actually have to do it. So I'm one of those people, which I know you're probably gonna groan, but I'm one of those people who really doesn't like phone calls. Like my phone will go off and I'll be like, ugh, like I don't like that.
I'm the same
you know?
way, even though I make you stay on the line with me
Well, I like calling you. You're the only person I call. But like, I'll get a phone call and I hate it, or I have to make a phone call and I can't do it. I have to pretend to be somebody else. Like I have to literally pretend to be like an alternate version Ella, who's like an extrovert and like loves to make appointments. You know?
Yeah.
That's really you got to do it sometimes.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's right, Mino. Absolutely right.
No. I'm saying no to you,
Oh, Ella, pause the time. I need to let my dog out. 1 second.
Okay. Poor Moni.
Did I say Mino again?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
I'm not saying that approach will work for everybody, but you know, sometimes if you're really stuck, it can help. That's all.
I don't know why I do that. I think it's just that or something. I don't know why I do that. I don't know why I have it in my brain.
I've never seen you struggle this much.
I don't know. I don't do that with her real name. Like it's just this particular name for some reason. I am so sorry. Like I swear to God, it's not like intentional. I am so sorry. I don't know why I keep doing that. She knows. She knows I don't mean it. Like, she knows it's a total mistake.
I've never seen you like this ever, so I don't even know how to comfort you. You know, like I just don't even know what to say to make it better or anything.
Nothing to make better, Ella.
I'm sorry.
Life is meaningless.
I'm a fixer. I know this about myself. So there are times where if I ever go very quiet, it's because there's nothing that I can do, you know, and so I just can't, I just don't do anything. I just sit there and I'm just like, okay, you know, it is going to be the way that it is because there's no fixing this.
I don't know what I'm gonna eat.
What do you have?
Nothing.
Sad. You gotta start putting potatoes in before alive. You will thank yourself when you have a nice warm potato after alive. They're so good. They're so good.
You're right. You're right.
And if you get like if you go to the store and you know how they have those like ready-made meals, you know, near the front or whatever, they often have pulled pork at the in those. Get
I don't do pork. I don't do pork.
Oh, you don't do pork?
I don't.
Well,
I don't
do
know
chicken.
Why.
Do you
only
like
pork I do.
Do you like
is
barbecue
like,
chicken?
The only pork I do is bacon. That's the only. I don't like the texture of pork for some reason, and I just.
That's fine. Do you like chicken?
I love chicken.
Okay, so get barbecue chicken, and it's literally just in a bag that you can microwave. You have your potato, and then you microwave your chicken, and you put it on, and it's like this barbecue chicken baked potato, and you can put cheese on it. It's so good. It's such an easy meal. It's super filling, you know.
I'll have to. I will have to. I will. Just like when you tried to get me to do the. Remember when you tried to get me to use the ordering service and I never ended up doing it?
Yes, I think that you would love it.
I don't know. I just don't trust people like eating my. I've seen them in the supermarket and they don't care. They're just throwing things around. They just pick things. You know what I'm saying?
I think that it would be worth it for the time that you save. You know, would be worth it for every once in a while something not, you know what I mean? Like not
Right.
not going, you get one bad avocado but you saved an hour, you know. That's all I'm saying.
That's true.
You got to be easier with yourself. Here's the thing. I am all for shortcuts. If something makes your life easier, you should do it. If a meal service, like, if a meal service where they deliver it to your door, like ready-made meals and stuff, makes your life easier, and that's the hill that you want to die on, you should do it. You know what I mean? Like, if you hate
You're right.
mopping the floor and you get a robot, you should do it. If that's what your priority is, you know?
You are totally right.
Thank you, Cam, for protecting us. Thank you.
Yes, that was really weird. Just strange bot because it's like, what's the point of it? Like, what is it trying to do?
I don't know. I didn't even see it. Cam was so fast.
I saw it and I was just like, what? Okay.
I was ranting about baked potatoes. Who sees a innocent girl ranting about baked potatoes and decides to spam?
Well,
It's sad.
It's good. It's good that see, you have the privilege of being able to go on because we've got Cam in the background protecting us. Right? Like Cam is back there like protecting
absolutely.
us from all this stuff.
You've got 7 minutes left. I think this was a really fun stream today. It went really fast, probably because we were talking a lot.
I have so much drawing to do tonight.
And thank you to everybody who... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I was just saying I just have a lot of drawing to do tonight. Go ahead. You were saying?
Well, when do you? That will never change, you know.
That's true. Okay, go ahead. What were you saying? Thank you to everyone.
I was just saying I was saying thanks to everybody who gave extra time for these today,
Yeah, you guys.
and
Thank you.
we're getting really close with some of these, and the OC spotlight we love. We've gotten a new OC spotlight every time, and I think that's really interesting, a lot of fun. So
I love how excited you guys get about your characters. And
me too.
oh shoot, I'm sorry, Ella. Pause it one more time. I gotta let the dog back in.
Of course.
I think I need to do my shrimp shumai and baked salmon rolls. I think I need to.
You should. That sounds good.
I think I should treat myself tonight. That's like I treat myself kind of meal. So. You like it? You like it, Eric? Is it turning out good? I have to get the get a couple things here in place.
I'm surprised you always have so many things open, because around here, I guess you live in maybe a more populated area. I live in a very small town.
Yeah, it's because I'm in Dallas.
Because you're always like, oh, I've got this place open, and I'm always like, everything here is closed. Now, I'm obviously an hour later, but sometimes we'll be like really late, you know, and you'll be like, oh, I'm gonna get this, and I'm like, I don't even know. I don't. Things closed hours ago.
Yeah, I remember the first time I went to Oklahoma, I was like, everything. I know you're not in Oklahoma now, but like, the first time I went to Oklahoma, I went to Broken Arrow for a wedding, and everything was closed. Like at 6 o'clock, everything was closed. It's like, what is happening here? I was like, it's 6 o'clock.
No, it's very. It does not run the same. It's not like New York. When I went to New York, so I've gone to New York several times, and New York City was always like, oh yeah, just go on down, you know, to this place. It's open 24/7 or whatever, and you're just like, what? Like it was a culture shock to me, because it was so they you know, obviously they say like, oh, you know, the nightlife or whatever, and I didn't know what a nightlife was. Things got dark, and that's when things closed, you know, in Oklahoma. Like that's it, you know. The sun goes down and everybody goes to sleep. So when I lived in Tennessee, there was a little bit of a nightlife, and I'm glad to live in a place that is a little bit quieter, I think. I am not I'm a little bit of a country girl, obviously. So I I am glad to be in a smaller town, and where things close. It's a little inconvenient sometimes, but I'd rather that than have like a nightlife, I guess.
I'm with you. My brother and I are very different. He's very much like a city. He likes like the city, and I'm a very much quiet suburb kind of guy. You know, I don't like.
Yeah. 2 minutes. 2 minutes left. There are a lot of small towns in Michigan. Michigan's a big state. Bye, Carl.
Good night, Carl. I'm so glad you got
Listen,
to be here with us.
Ella is not a nightlife girl. I promise you. If you were making a zombie apocalypse team, I would absolutely want to be on that team. If you were making a let's go party team, Ella should not. Ella can make the list and plan the schedule, but should not be on the bus. That's what I'm saying. I will plan your party. I will not be invited. You do not want me there. Trust me. I will not be a good ally to you because I will be very I promise, not a good nightlife person for sure. You want Ella on your planned vacation. You do not want Ella on your spontaneous vacation. That not fun. Not fun. All right. We're at the end here.
I'll just put the hair in here real quick. I can't wait to finish this one because doing a uniform, him as an ink fighter with the uniform, that's such a cool concept.
Great. It is very, we're kind of like, I know that you've kind of got designs and stuff, but we're showcasing, you know.
Right.
Despite it being an OC, he's kind of giving us the ability to showcase some stuff.
Yes, I love that. This is going to be a lot of fun. Once I get it, I just have everything kind of mapped out, then I can start. Okay. Eric, thank you so much, man, for this. I'm excited to keep working on him. And get this one, because this is going to look really good. I can get it all figured out.
For 20 minutes, I think you got pretty far.
Yeah. All right. Well, Ella, gosh, I've like talked my head off today.
Me too.
Really good show today. Man, hold on. I don't want to hit the countdown again because I did that yesterday.
That made me laugh so hard.
That was so funny. I was like, no, you dingus. Like, how could you do that again? I had a great time with you guys. Thank you so much for ordering these. We got through a lot today. Those Marco and Hugo ones are going to be so good when they're done. This one that I'm working on for Eric, it's going to look so cool because I have this whole vision for it of what it's going to look like. So, Eric, I really love your OC, and this is going to be really good. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for supporting us and doing this. Dee, thank you. Moose, thank you. Eric, am I missing someone tonight? Boofy, thank you.
Boofy, yeah.
So, yeah. Hope you guys have a great. When's our next live?
We're doing there's going to be a commission live tomorrow at 12. It's going to be a public one. It's just going to be like an hour, like the ones way back were. And then the next one will be a sketchy on Monday. So we'll put all those out over the weekend. And then we've got some fun stuff planned for next week. So we'll be posting those pretty soon. so that you guys can get in on the action. And yeah, it'll be lots of fun.
All right, guys. Thank you, Ella. Cam, thank you. You guys have a great night, and we will see you tomorrow at the commission live. Good night.
Bye.